Hezbollah mediators, and both have agreed to pause fighting. It comes after Iran media says Iranian leaders were suspending talks with the U.S., claiming Israel was violating the ceasefire deal. ABC's Tom Sufi-Burridge says Iran is also vowing to step up the blockade at the Strait of Hormuz.
Despite all of the pressure, the Iranians are still maintaining that they want something out of this negotiation, that they're not just willing to give up their nuclear program wholesale. That seems to be the case, and that is what President Trump wants.
Hundreds of demonstrators taking to the streets of Nanyuki in central Kenya today, protesting plans to establish a U.S. Ebola quarantine facility at a nearby military base. Demonstrators argue it could raise the risk for local residents. Health officials say there are no suspected cases of Ebola outside Central Africa. On Wall Street, oil prices have surged again. Tensions remain between the U.S. and Iran. This is ABC News. In Southeast Asia, rain returning and crews scrambling to rescue 2 remaining miners from flooded caves in Laos after being stranded for more than a week. ABC's Britt Clinnett has more from Hong Kong.
A glimmer of hope for those 2 miners missing for 13 days. Rescuers reporting hearing knocking signals in the 6th chamber beyond where the original 5 were found. Teams confirming the sounds are not echoes. It comes after the remarkable rescue of those miners who were trapped for over a week.
Anthropic announcing it has confidentially filed an S-1 with the SEC. That's taking the first step to become a publicly traded company and in beating also OpenAI in its filing. The move puts details about Anthropic's finances under private review for now. According to a new survey, remote work may be one reason unemployment rates among college graduates are on the rise. The Federal Reserve Bank of New York says businesses may be wary of hiring workers with no experience. Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
An Auburn police officer fired this morning. More on that coming up. First, a quick check on that KIRO Newsradio traffic. Not a bad commute at all. A big difference from that morning commute that saw huge backups at times. So let's get you through Seattle. North 5, you're looking at a typical heavy backup between the West Seattle Bridge and I-90. And your Ship Canal Bridge backup starts near 520. 15, 20 minutes tops from bridge to bridge. And we're 1 week away from the Revive I-5 project taking a World Cup break, and we'll have all lanes back open across the Ship Canal, and those express lanes will return to the daily north-south switcheroo. South 5 off and on slowing through the U District. That's about it. The Point Defiance Ferry Terminal reporting a 1-hour wait already for drivers. This report brought to you by KIRO Newsradio.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Nate Connors. An 18-year-old Tacoma man pleaded not guilty in King County Court this morning to 3 counts of first-degree assault in a Capitol Hill shooting. Prosecutors say Jamari McQueen opened fire outside the Cultura nightclub on East Pike just after 1 a.m. May 18th after arguing with another man. Court documents say McQueen shot that man and also hit 2 bystanders. Douglas Wagner with the King County Prosecutor's Office says McQueen is held on high bail.
It reflects the extremely serious conduct and risk to public safety that this defendant represents in terms of being an extraordinary danger to the public.
McQueen's trial is set to start July 20th. An Auburn police officer arrested in an online child exploitation sting has been terminated. The 42-year-old who posted $100,000 bail was fired today. Auburn police say the decision followed an internal review of the officer's off-duty actions. Former Seahawks star Russell Wilson is set to become a CBS sports analyst, according to ESPN's Adam Schefter. Wilson finalizing a deal to join the network's high-profile pregame show with James Brown, Nate Burleson, and Bill Cowher. Wilson spent 10 seasons in Seattle and won a Super Bowl before stints with Denver, Pittsburgh, and the New York Giants. All 11 victims killed in last week's industrial disaster in Longview have now been recovered and identified. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey reports the cleanup continues.
Everyone in Longview seems to know one of the 11 people who lost their lives inside the Nippon Dynawave plant.
And now all these people's lives are destroyed, and you can't bring them back.
Crews are flushing Longview's ditch system after a large vat imploded, spilling hundreds of thousands of gallons of the highly corrosive chemical white liquor. The union for the mill workers killed is now demanding answers after a federal investigation was launched. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Brandi Carlile lit up the gorge over the weekend. The Washington native headlined night 2 of her Echoes Through the Canyon concerts with a powerhouse set that had the sold-out crowd on its feet. It was also a birthday celebration. Carlisle turns 45 today. Your KIRO News Radio weather, a warm couple days ahead with plenty of sun, 73 this afternoon, 82 tomorrow. And then Wednesday, clouds up will drop almost 20 degrees with a high around 65. A little more sun trickles in Thursday and Friday. Sunny, a little breezy, and 65 in downtown Seattle. I'm Nate Connors, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
And now, it's time for the Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio. With your hosts, Jake Skorheim and Spike O'Neill.
Behold, a fiendish masterpiece from the bowels of hell! Mondays, for I hate Mondays. They make me so steamed. Weekends, I prefer the weekends!
Son of a... Happy Monday. Jake Skorheim here. Spike O'Neill right there.
Happy Monday, brother.
Beautiful weather.
It is glorious.
Beautiful weekend.
Glorious. It's a roller coaster. It's a roller coaster.
It's a roller coaster.
A couple days of glorious sunshine, and then we plunge back deep into 60.
What's the weather supposed to be tomorrow? Not that everything matters, but weather.
82 and sunny, maybe the hottest day of the year so far.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Summertime, baby.
And then
83.
Yeah, and then
my weather thinks it's 83, but then we duck back down to.
You bought the premium weather package. I got the basic
50s,
on my phone.
In the 50s and raining?
Right. Woo! It's more fun if you do this. Woo!
If you don't get stuck like they did last week.
Don't even.
Where was that?
That was in Galveston, Texas.
Galveston, Texas. On the Iron Shark.
That's
what
what they
call
that
the Iron
thing?
Shark?
Iron Shark? God, yeah, sign me up. No thanks, buddy.
We have a lot of stuff to get to, just a ton of it. It's Monday, a lot of fun stuff. We're going to we got some guests on. We're going to talk to Charlie Harger in just a little bit about this piece he's got on mynorthwest.com. You guys should read about it. Pimps are back. I guess they never went away.
They didn't go away. They
just went hung out for a minute at a coffee shop.
They laid low.
Yeah. Went wherever pimps go. Can I, over the weekend, can I tell you a little personal story over the weekend?
Love to.
I thought you would enjoy the story. I found it funny, and I wasn't sure how to respond to it.
Okay.
So Saturday. This week was the end of sports for 2 of my kids. So it was just a celebratory weekend as a parent.
Spring season came to an end.
Yes.
Trophy presentations.
We had trophies.
Lunch, or a little barbecue party.
We did actually.
Yeah, that's what you do.
It was late.
That gives kids
late at night.
Were the kids in bed?
No,
that's supposed to be for the kids.
Okay, I have a couple stories.
Okay, let me hear this. I'll stop interrupting.
My son. No, it's fine.
No.
I will interrupt as throughout. It makes it better. My son. He finished flag football. We'll have to be determined later. We'll have a party later. I'm an assistant coach on that team, so it may not happen. But anyway.
Okay.
We're going to do it in the summertime. That's the plan.
Yeah.
So that ends. My 9-year-old's baseball team also finished. They played their final game under the lights. Beautiful, super nice.
Oh, what a great moment.
Summer night. Felt like summer night, at least visually. It was freezing cold, very, very cold. But the game started at 7 p.m.
How old is this?
9. It's an 8 and 9-year-old team. So the game starts at 7 p.m. We don't finish the game till 9:15.
Holy.
Then, because it's scheduled, this is very sweet. The coaches and everybody, very nice on that team. They say, hey, folks, we want to do hot dogs and trophy presentation after the last game. Now, as parents, we're like, wait a minute, we're doing the math.
Yeah, that ain't
These
working.
games are 2 hours minimum, and then we're going to get into 9 o'clock. It's 9:15 when we finished. We're there till almost 10 o'clock at night. And these kids my 9-year-old comes up to me at one point. He's got like mustard all over his face. And he goes, Dad, I'm really tired. Can we go home?
I bet every kid was going through
exhausted. These kids should have been in bed 3 hours ago.
That's not great planning, man.
Well, I mean,
you're not a coach on that team, though.
I'm not a coach on that team.
At
least they did something that was very sweet. They did hot dogs.
That's great, but get them together on another day.
Yeah, but then they would have to actually do it. This was like
you had them corralled. I see the logistical sense of
everybody's there. It's tough to get everybody's schedules going.
Yeah.
Anyway,
everybody gets a coupon for a free pizza.
Exactly.
Here's your little trophy. Go home, go to bed.
Go to bed. Personal pan pizza. Read a book.
Party at 9:30 at night.
Party at 9:30. It was very late. So here's my story, and this is selfishly I'm telling this because it was so ridiculous. I wasn't sure how to respond to it.
Saturday morning, so that was Friday night that game happened. Saturday we finished my son's flag football, but also one of my other son whose season doesn't end for 3 more weeks for some reason, playing t-ball, and we're on the way to the game. I stop with my 2-year-old, and I'm just looking for anything that'll just shut him up while we're at the game because he just wants to run around. So I'm like, hey, you know what?
Yeah.
Donut. That's a great idea. So I stop at a donut shop, and I'm in there, and this guy comes in behind, and he's waiting in line. And I'm like a friendly guy, and I'm always kind of making conversation with people.
You're inside the store?
Inside the store.
Yeah. And if getting out of your car to go back to the car behind you,
I'm like
that's
leaning
a little
back.
much. Yeah.
How's your day going?
Inside the store, that's what you do.
Inside the store.
Yeah. You're a neighbor.
Exactly. Community, small community. And so this guy comes in, and we make eye contact, and so I'm like, I'm going to talk with this guy. And I think to myself, like, I'm going to be Mr. Friendly, which not everybody loves, but whatever. My wife doesn't love it.
I'm guilty of it, too.
You do the same thing.
Yeah.
It's why we do this job.
We're building community. It's a dying art.
Sure. Call it whatever you want. Call it whatever you want.
Okay, go on.
So he comes in, and they're almost sold out as whatever. They're almost sold out. And so he's making, he's talking about what he's going to get. And he's like, I'm just buying one. He's like, he wants the crowd to hear for some reason. He's just buying one. I'm just buying one donut for my wife. It's her birthday. He's volunteering all this information. So I'm thinking, he's a chatty
extrovert.
He's a chatty Charlie, just like me.
That's great.
I'm going to talk to him. And so I was like, oh, your wife's birthday, hon. He's an older gentleman. I'd want to say he's probably 73 years old. Is my guess. Not particularly fit, and I mean, but not. He's
not
not
going to be his last donut.
It's not going to be his last donut. Well, okay. So about that, so he says, I'm going to get my wife a donut. It's her birthday. I only buy one donut a year. And I said, really? Only one donut a year? He's suggesting all of this information. He's just like pouring it all out. So I said, well, that's, hey, they got really good donuts here. You're missing out. You're missing out. Like, that's just a nice common idiom. Is that an idiom? Somebody might say to somebody.
Yeah.
Well, you're missing out. It's a good donut. And he looks at me square in the eye, and with no sense of like jovial nature, nothing. He goes, no, I won't. I said, huh? I said, you're going to, because of missing out. He goes, no, I'm not. I said, well, okay. I didn't know what to say at that point.
Yeah.
And he goes, I don't eat donuts. I'd rather live another 20 years. And I said, well, if that's the trade-off, like one donut for 20 years, I'd say, yeah, you're making a good bet. And it was the weirdest reaction, though. He was offended at the prospect of me suggesting that he should have a donut, but he's there to buy one for his wife. And I was wondering, does he have something else going on? Like, was he severely addicted to donuts at one time in his life, and he's shaken past that, and now he's got to almost be a zealot against donuts?
I think maybe he's being persecuted for his love of baked goods, and he can't allow himself to indulge because he's been told probably more often than he'd like
by his wife
that food's going to be his undoing. He said he was a bigger guy. He's probably on a lockdown diet that he's not crazy about.
Yeah, maybe.
Here he is buying donuts for his loved one.
Yeah.
Not allowed to enjoy himself, partake of maybe his favorite. Sugar's an addiction. Maybe his real monster in his head
is addiction.
Is addiction and donut and sugar.
He's addicted.
And you said, you're missing out. No, I won't be.
Yeah,
I want to live. I want to live.
That's what it was like.
Wow.
He was extreme about it.
Wow.
Anyway, I stopped. I wasn't Mr. Friendly at that point. I just said, this guy's got something else going on. I got to protect my child. It probably wasn't that drastic. We got our donut. We got the heck out of there.
I think you err on the side of caution when it comes to protecting the brood. I'm with you there,
just
man.
to be nice on the way out, I was like, happy birthday to your wife. And then I walked out. And anyway, it was a good weekend. Did you have a nice weekend?
I don't know after that. Yeah.
You're like, I ran into a jerk at a donut shop.
I'm buying a donut for my wife, right? It's the only one I do on you. No, we had a lovely weekend. We really did. Yeah. We laid low.
Sweet.
I looked at my lawn that I haven't been allowed to mow in a month.
Heck yeah.
Because my wife's one of those no mow May women.
Mm-hmm.
Protect the bees.
It's the opposite of no shave November.
November, yeah. So my lawn is a foot tall. Our dog, I let my dog out, and I lose a dog that bounds into the wilds of my backyard.
Did you find it?
The dog, she makes her way in.
She made it eventually, yeah. She's created a little home out there. She'll be fine.
And I respect the no mow May. I get how important
I've never heard of that.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it for the nutrients?
No, it's to allow clover and whatnot to populate so the bees have an opportunity to do what they do.
Sure.
It's kind of the ecological pushback to all the bees that are dying because of cell towers.
Ugh.
Hypothetically, whatever the real reason ends up being.
Yeah.
There's a loss of bee population in the world. Anyway, long story short, haven't
lazy.
Haven't been. Bees
they're
are
just lazy.
They're just spoiled. They're on their little bee phones.
I think they've had
scrolling
enough.
all day.
They just said,
we tried to help you people.
We're doing this for everybody.
With pollination and fruit and everything.
What are we getting out of it?
You slam us with a newspaper. I get to mow. I almost mowed at 8 this morning. That's how bad I want to mow this lawn.
Sweet.
When we leave here at 3 o'clock today,
you're gonna go mow?
I am racing home.
You really actually couldn't mow?
I can't. My no mow May means you don't mow the lawn.
That's ridiculous.
You let it grow. I got seed starts on grass.
Yeah.
It's June 1st. I may till. I may take the yard out. I'm so ready to mow this lawn. But I had a great week.
In anticipation of the week ahead, knowing you could mow.
It was frustrating because it was gorgeous weather. You know, we get this rain, we get some sun, we get a couple days in a row. I know the tall grass is dry enough to mow. I mean, because
Yeah.
If it had rained yesterday or this morning, I'd still be out there, and that's an 8. That's an 8.
You're out there with a hair dryer, drying it.
Oh man, no, that's every pass with the mower is another socked up wet grass.
Oh, I don't
clogged.
pick it up.
Oh, we got a bag.
I let it mulch on the yard.
Do you? I got a pup. She brings it in the house if it's out there.
I also could not stand
over.
the broadleaf that you're seeing in abundance right now.
Oh,
anytime I see broadleaf, I just go nuts. This is so stupid of a conversation. But every
a lot
time
of guys can relate to this.
A lot of guys relate to broadleaf.
Not you condo dwellers.
No.
What do you know from lawns?
No, you don't know it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That broadleaf screams at me in the middle of the night. If I go to bed and it's in my yard, no, thank you.
I can hear the wind blowing through the tall grass. It wakes me up at night. It's horrible. I can't wait.
You hate May.
I cannot wait. I'm so glad June is here.
That's great. I'm glad for you.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks.
That is one of the most satisfying things in the world is mowing your yard.
Looking out at a well-kept lawn. You know, that's my fife. That's my kingdom.
Yeah.
That's my world.
You know what I did this weekend? God, we've wasted so much time on personal stories.
That's all
Is this
good.
okay? Does
It's
the
all
audience
good. What are we
care
going to
about
talk about? People shooting each other in the neighborhoods North Seattle?
We'll get back to the pimps in a second.
Charlie's coming up later today. He'll give you the whole story.
Do you know what I did this weekend? It was so momentous. I have handed over the lawn mowing to my 11-year-old. I've reached I love doing it, and it's a sacrifice. And people think that I'm joking here. I love mowing the yard. Oh. There's nothing more satisfying. It's also 45 minutes where I can just lock down, and my wife's like, well, he's busy doing something, so she can't give me other things to do. It's very, very nice. It's relaxing.
It is. It is singular. It is,
instant gratification.
Yep.
You watch those lines, as tight as those lines you want to make, you can do it.
Sense of pride.
And this weekend, I sat out there in the yard, and I got down almost like I was inspecting a putt on a green or something. I'm watching my son as he's trying, and he's doing a bad job, but he's a young
learning
kid.
the game.
He'll learn.
Yeah.
And he's swerving all over the place.
Yeah.
But he's doing his best to hold the line. And I'm like, hold the line, son. But he mowed the whole yard on his own.
You got a bigger yard. You got a much bigger yard than I do. I'm out there bragging, but I got a 25, 30-minute clip when it's all said and done.
Well,
when it's in form.
He's slow.
Yeah, well, yeah.
He's young. He took him.
Yeah, he's supposed to be young.
I could do it in 20.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got a big.
Well, you probably got a bigger yard.
It's a big. Not to be belaboring the point, but it's a big day to turn that over to your offspring.
Yeah, no, I did.
It's a big day, man.
I shed a few tears.
It's a big day in his life too.
A lot of that was allergies. No, I was kidding. But a
paying gig?
It was a nice deal.
It's a paying gig for him.
Yeah, he made some money.
Attaboy,
He
yeah.
made some money out of it.
Oh, what a day!
Yeah, it was a great day. Great day in the Skorheim household. All right, not a great day in Aurora. Let's talk about some pimps. This was just, what is this? Many hours after neighbors were forced to remove. The neighbors didn't even do it. SDOT came and removed
the
it.
mayor said that's unacceptable.
Yes,
you
Mayor
know,
Katie Wilson.
drive-by shootings, bullet holes above babies' heads. That's we'll look into that.
That just
we'll
happens
do a
in the
study.
city.
We'll have a study.
Yeah.
We'll look into it. But the barricades the neighbors put up to protect their homes and families, that was unacceptable.
Mm-hmm.
City brought the barricades down. I think it was last Thursday, day after the mayor said no.
Yep.
What was it? Within a day and a half, the gunplay
Gunfire
was back. Yep. Shells on the street.
Listen to this. This is great. This is a neighbor, Andrew, talking about the new. Just imagine living in this reality.
Mm-hmm.
You buy a house on Aurora, somewhere nearby, in one of these neighborhoods. It's not like on Aurora.
No,
You're not one of the businesses.
The side streets. What used to be affordable first start maybe family housing in the city.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not the high rent district. That's still $700,000.
Yeah, still not cheap houses.
For, with bullet holes and knock the price down a little bit.
I wonder, are those houses on Aurora, are they above the state average? Because I think the state average price is like somewhere around $680.
I think they're on the low end. I think they're bringing the numbers down.
Okay.
My 9 neighborhoods all
but
7
King County
digits.
and Seattle are all very high.
Yeah. Oh,
and
yeah.
So I'm thinking that maybe
I think the corridor that we're speaking of, the corridor within a couple blocks in either direction of Aurora Avenue.
Yeah.
Given the commercial and retail vibe and element that is Aurora Avenue kind of drops those housing prices down a little bit.
Sure. Parks are usually good for housing prices.
Yeah,
Pimps,
and they
Pimps not so much.
Pimps not so much.
So this is neighbor Andrew. He is speaking here to, was this a My Northwest exclusive? Was this one of our reporters talking to this guy? Speaking to somebody, do we know who got the audio of Andrew?
It was Charlie.
Charlie,
Yeah,
great. Okay.
But
this is from Charlie Harger's piece. You can check it out on mynorthwest.com. We're going to talk with him a little bit later in the show about this. But neighbor Andrew talked about this fun new family drill that they have to do whenever they hear gunshots.
We have a routine when we hear shots. We each grab a kid as fast as possible and as low as possible and go to the back room.
Obviously, I'm joking about it being a
God.
fun new family routine. That is horrible. Can you imagine if this was your reality? You buy a house, you're trying to raise your family, and it becomes commonplace to hear this. That's gunshots recorded on I believe that's like a ring camera.
Yeah, home monitoring.
Listen to that. Think about how scary that would be. My children would never be outside.
That's the kind of once-in-a-lifetime experience that will change who you are as a person. Now imagine it's your day-to-day living.
Yeah.
Imagine that you've had to build a routine where that's the kind of stuff you hear about in war overseas.
Horrible.
A city under siege.
These are the kinds
That's
of
what
things.
this is.
When we look back and talk about what is it, the Cold War. We talk about all those kids.
Oh, drop it under your desk.
Stop, drop, and get under your desk in case a bomb is coming. People remember that for the rest of their lives. You probably do.
We did it. We did
earthquake drills. Similar thing.
We got every Monday at 1 o'clock.
Were you hiding from Russian bombs?
Yes. Every Monday at 1 o'clock at our school, the air raid siren went off, and it covered the entirety of the neighborhood. Oh, yeah. And at 1 o'clock, we all got into our little wooden, nuclear-proof desks.
Yeah.
And just did the drill.
Did you ever wonder how
that was a part of everyday life?
Keeping you safe?
I just trusted the system.
What did you do under there? How long was it?
It was about 2 minutes. You go down 2 minutes.
Just giggle with your friends?
Yeah, it was just us getting, it was keeping us in line. That's what, but that was a perceived necessity of the era that they lived in, which is what this homeowner and these families, this is the necessity of life along the borders of Aurora Avenue because of this city's policies and their refusal. I don't want to say inability. Their refusal.
It's a priority decision. Yeah,
they're
just not prioritizing it. They don't care.
We'll get in deep with this with Charlie Hart because he's done incredible work on this.
Yeah.
He's getting out there, and he's getting out there more than the mayor is. Charlie's been on these streets more than the mayor has.
He absolutely
and it's
is.
not his job. It's one of his jobs, but it's not his job.
Yes, he absolutely is. I just don't understand why they're not arresting people who are doing illegal things.
Yeah,
this goes back to the same stuff with the drug addicts. I mean, this to me feels like all the same problem.
Yeah.
This is just another arm in that problem or another limb in that tree.
Well, we're a city of Band-Aids.
Well,
we're not addressing the wounds.
Why would they not arrest if somebody's out there pimping, sex trafficking,
right,
firing guns,
changing their traffic pattern, or even slowing it down?
Yeah, why?
Not even changing it. That's not the solution.
Why wouldn't you arrest those people? They know who they are. They know who the cars are. They must recognize those. They must be on all these ring cams. Every house in the world now. I haven't driven by a house that doesn't have some sort of an outdoor ring cam in forever. It's the most common thing.
Absolutely.
And I guarantee you, these people who live in Seattle, who are worried about gunfire and bullets flying through their windows, they have these same cameras.
Yeah, they do.
So they know who these
And I'm sure they'd be
are.
happy to volunteer them to the local police department to help with the investigations. They're putting up barricades.
Is this the same mayor's office who doesn't want to have cameras catching people doing bad things?
Ironically enough, yes.
Funny.
Yeah.
Interesting how that works. Okay, when we come back, we're going to talk about there has been a gauntlet laid out.
I saw your work on this.
I
saw your involvement, and I love your volunteerism.
I'm happy to do it.
You're a solution-oriented guy.
Bob Ferguson posted something that I thought was hilarious.
Well,
so we'll talk about it when we come back.
Yeah.
And
he got a response.
Yes. From a lot of people.
Yes.
We'll talk about it when we come back, and I'd like your guys, we'd like to hear your opinion on this as well. So stick around. We got a lot more. We'll be right back.
KIRO News Radio, winner of 7 regional Edward R. Murrow Awards. Breaking news coverage, best newscast, excellence in writing, investigative reporting, sports reporting, hard news. Capped with a prestigious prize for overall excellence. And we thank you, our audience across the Pacific Northwest. You are the reason we strive to be the Northwest's trusted news source. KIRO News Radio. 97.3 FM.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541. What do you have to lose? Call 800-292-4541. Again, 800-292-4541.
If you're over 62 and feel squeezed by rising monthly bills, listen carefully. I'm Steve Teitler, owner of Best Mortgage. Every week I talk with seniors who love their home, want to stay in it, but feel more financial pressure every month. Property taxes are adding up. Insurance is up. Everyday bills are up, and for some, they still have a mortgage payment on top of all of that. Are you worried about outliving your savings? A reverse mortgage could help by eliminating your mortgage payment, paying off debt, and giving you breathing room every month. Now, let me be clear, it's not right for everyone. But for the right person, it can be a powerful tool. When you call Best Mortgage for a free consultation, you'll talk directly with me. I'll explain your options and tell you honestly if it makes sense for your situation. If you're 62 or older and want straight answers about staying in your home with less financial stress, call me today, 425-649-6000. Best Mortgage. Honest advice you can trust. 425-649-6000.
The team that gave me back my full head of hair, Advanced Hair, is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. Dr. Perungo and his world-class team begin regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. And Advanced Hair guarantees your new hair will grow, just like they did for me. Find out why Advanced Hair is the best of the best. With your free consultation, you'll receive $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
G and Ursula on KIRO News Radio.
You're not going to be able to stop what's going to happen.
I hope he's successful.
9 to noon, streaming live on your smart speaker.
Healthcare costs are rising, and a major driver is hospital prices. They've increased more than 250% over the past 25 years. Families and local businesses are feeling it. At Primera Blue Cross, we're working to change that by negotiating with hospitals to secure fair, responsible prices so you can get the care you need at a cost you can afford. That's coverage that counts. Learn more at coveragethatcounts.primera.com.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy. Pretty much hands off, They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief, the best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877-CARS-4-KIDS to speak to a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Go to carsforkids.org now or call 877-CARS-4-KIDS to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS
you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Nate Connors. Just 48 hours after Seattle city leaders replaced neighbor-installed planters to completely block their streets from drive-by shootouts with traffic calming blocks. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey reports there was another shooting.
Early Sunday morning, gunfire just off Aurora Avenue in North Seattle. And just like the 95 other shootings the last 2 years, Andrew had the same reaction.
We have a routine when we hear shots. We each grab a kid as fast as possible and as low as possible and go to the back room.
Neighbors question whether the concrete barriers the city has now installed in place of their homemade metal barricades will do much to reduce the violence. Unlike the original roadblocks, the new barriers only slow traffic. Linked to pimps and sex buyers, they don't stop it entirely. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
City leaders are holding a neighborhood safety meeting later this week. The Noah Center in Stanwood is asking for your help. KIRO 7 TV's Lindsay Sheldon explains.
An elderly woman brought in 32 cats, including moms and kittens, into the shelter. Along with a regular kitten season influx, they are swamped and they need more cat food. Right now, they're running through about 40 cans a day, which is stretching their supply pretty thin. The center has an Amazon wish list and a Chewy wish list of cat food that they badly need.
2 more gray whales have been found dead on Washington shores. KIRO 7 TV's Dee Sun reports.
One was found near Kalalik on the coast of the Olympic National Park. That's about 18 miles south from where the 23rd whale was found dead near Strawberry Point. The other whale was found on the coast of Ocean Park near Long Beach.
Marine biologists say many of the other whales appear to die of starvation. A major new pickleball hub opened this weekend in Federal Way. The Pickler transformed the former LA Fitness building on Pack Highway South into 14 premium indoor courts. Sanket Mehta, owner of Pickler Federal Way, tells KIRO 7 TV.
I really feel that, pickleball is such a special sport. It brings community together. It brings friends together. And if you get strangers together, they become friends.
It's now the largest pickleball facility on the West Coast. And now a check on Wall Street. The Dow flips positive. S&P and NASDAQ hit session highs as Trump says Iran talks are back on. Right now, the Dow up 54, S&P 500 up 31, and the NASDAQ up 170. Your KIRO News Radio traffic brought to you by your KIRO News Radio app. The Point Defiance Ferry Terminal has a 1-hour wait for drivers. JBLM South 5, a brief backup forming there at the main gate. North 5 are looking pretty good. You've got those typical scattered backups between the West Seattle Bridge and Ship Canal. About 20 minutes to get through this. And South 5 are looking good with no significant backups. Text the app to 888-973-5476 to download the KIRO News Radio app. Listen to your favorite shows and get the latest news and updates sent straight to your phone. Have lunch outside today and tomorrow if you can. Sunny and 73 today, 83 tomorrow, and then cloudy and 65 Wednesday. 65 right now, sunny and a little breezy in downtown Seattle. I'm Nate Connors, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
All right, welcome back to the show. I saw this posted on, when was this? This would have been on the 30th, which is, let me look back at this.
Saturday.
You
were busy. Yeah, games,
30th, which was Saturday.
Yeah.
I don't spend a lot of time on social media on the weekends, but I did check in. It's a mental health thing.
You gotta, man.
You gotta unplug.
Gotta protect yourself.
Stupidly, I did check at one point. I checked X. And I saw that Bob Ferguson posted this. He's the governor of our state, and he posted this. In response to a story from SeattleRed.com, Jim Walsh, who's been on our show a number of times, and give the audience, Spike, your perspective, because you and Jim Walsh probably disagree on a fair amount of things politically.
Fair. Yeah.
And at the same time, every time he's on the show, when he's done and we go to commercial break, you always tell me that what's your assessment of Jim Walsh? He's state rep.
State rep
Jim
from
Walsh.
I think it's the 23rd. I don't want to misdistrict him.
Okay.
He's in the southwestern corner. Longview is in his constituency.
Yep.
That's his part of the state that he takes care of. While we disagree on most every political point you could name, I like who he is as a person. I think he's a man of integrity, I think he's a man with his genuine belief that the best interest of not just his constituency but the state of Washington is his job. That's the public trust we've installed in him when he was elected, and I think he tries his very best to live up to it.
And you guys don't disagree on everything. On something like the millionaire tax, which Ferguson recently signed into law, you guys would probably come down on the same page that is not constitutional in the way that they proposed it.
I think we.
You like an income tax, but you don't like the way they implemented it.
Exactly. It's the structure with which it was implemented and forced upon the citizens of Washington that I have real problems with, and said that prior to the I was going to say the vote. Isn't that funny? It was no vote. I almost slipped up and said for the vote.
As if the people get a say in Washington.
Well, to your
That's
question,
funny.
Jim Walsh has expressed probably I don't know if an interest is a fair thing to say, but
well, he's been asked about
he's open to the idea
he said,
about
would you run for governor?
Seeking higher office.
He seems like a good he seems like a good yin to the yang of Bob Ferguson.
You know what? Given and I've said this publicly as well. I voted for the last Republican candidate for governor.
Reichert.
I voted for Dave Reichert.
Yeah.
But prior to that, I wouldn't have voted for Culp.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was unqualified.
You don't find Walsh to be that same type
I do not.
You like Walsh?
I think Walsh is an incredible opportunity for Republicans to have a seat in the governor's mansion,
which they have not had for 40 years. It would be interesting to see Washington.
Yeah, it's been that long.
Get somebody in. Washington has been blue longer than any state in these United States.
In all elements of the legislative branches.
So go ahead.
When you talk about states that are doing well, it's a state. These are just a couple quick examples. States like Massachusetts, which is a blue state but has a red governor from time to time, and they get things done.
They generally
my home
have,
Maryland is the same way.
Sure.
You know, maybe some liberal policies for the legislative branch, but a fiscal conservative in the governor's mansion,
or in a place like Baltimore where they have. Crime is really being cleaned up because they now have a pretty conservative prosecutor who's actually prosecuting crimes.
Yeah, saw that too.
So you do have people who are mixing things up.
You got to have. We've said numerous times.
Middle of the road, folks.
This state's one-party rule has really not served the citizenry well.
So this was interesting. I'd love your take on this. Bob Ferguson posted this on Saturday. He said, and this is again in response to Walsh saying that he's of course looking at it when asked about a potential governor's run in 28. Ferguson posted this. He says, Jim, you're a big talker, but we all know you won't have the guts to actually take me on. Now, when I saw that, I was just like, that's an interesting turn of phrase to talk about somebody not having the guts to take him on, because it seems very elementary school to me.
It's emotion-based as opposed to intellectually based.
Well, yeah,
it really
is. It also seems like
he shifts the dynamic of the conversation to what kind of guy are you? What kind of man are you?
It seems like complete schoolyard bluster.
Yeah.
It comes right before this.
Finally, the coup de grace of all dares, the sinister triple dog dare.
I triple dog dare you.
That's Bob Ferguson.
Schwartz had committed a social faux pas of skipping the double dog.
Right to triple dog dare. It seems, honestly, so I saw this and I posted about it. I said, hey, we would be happy to facilitate this. If you guys want to meet up and you guys want to talk and have an open forum, you can speak directly to the people.
You want to have a couple 100,000?
Yeah, and it's not a press release. It's not a media meetup where everybody's going to have a bunch of. It's just you guys talking. It's live to the audience. We're happy to set that up. Walsh almost immediately responds that he's happy to do one of these debates. In fact, he said this. He says,
"Not one."
He said November 28th is 29 months away. In the meantime, I challenge you to a series of monthly debates, each focused on a single public policy topic relevant to Washington State. 1 hour, once a month through November 28th. No notes, no staff. A different Washington-based journalist can moderate each debate. The journalist picks the single topic. No advance notice to either of us.
On the topic even?
Yeah. Not just a one-on-one, not a one-and-run event, a steady, regular debate series about fixing what's broken in our state. Let's give the people of Washington the chance to hear how two very different people approach the issues that affect their lives. Do you have the guts to accept?
Wouldn't that be the most amazing and wonderful and necessary element of this state's political future?
Yes.
Oh.
Question for you. Will Bob Ferguson ever agree to such a thing?
Not in a million years.
Not in a million years.
It's
but he threw the gauntlet down. He's the one who said, "Do you have the guts?"
Because I think Bob Ferguson, that's an emotionally in my mind, that's an emotionally charged response to Jim Walsh saying, "Yes, I'd be interested."
Why
in
is he
looking at
feeling
the
emotional right now?
Because he wants to get Jim Walsh in an emotional arena and take him out of of intellectual arena.
Well, he's
because I
not
don't
gonna
think Bob Ferguson
he's
can
not gonna
argue
do that with Walsh.
Bob Ferguson can't argue the merits of this billionaires, millionaires income tax on the intellectual merits of it. People don't want it.
He's got 92,780 reasons to fear Jim Walsh.
That was last week.
That was just 1 week.
That was the first record-setting week of signature gathering to an initiative to overturn
this income tax. I wrote an article about this. You guys can text GUTS to 888-973-5476. Send it to your friends. Also included is a poll because I want people's opinions. Who do you think would come out? Who has more guts? Would it be Bob Ferguson? And who would come out on top in a debate? Would it be Bob Ferguson or would it be Jim Walsh?
Okay.
I think it's an interesting question.
Yeah.
I know what I think the answer is, but I
know
don't want
what
to spoil
I think
it for
the
the
answer is, too.
audiences. But it does remind me that. Do you remember the movie Seabiscuit?
Of course.
Do you remember how Jeff Bridges' character, is it Jeff Bridges?
Jeff Bridges, yeah.
So he owns Seabiscuit, and Seabiscuit is a little up-and-comer horse, and he's got what it takes for the top prize. But the establishment horse, which I believe was War Admiral at the time, refuses to run against him. Listen to this.
Look, he's obviously the best horse in the East. We're obviously the best horse in the West. I just think the country deserves to see which horse is better.
Yo ho ho ho! You may not be able to see it, folks, but the gauntlet just landed on my desk. Are we talking about a match race, Mr. Howard?
Whatever Mr. Riddle wants. Match race, stakes race, potato sack race. Just because we're littler doesn't mean we're scared.
Right you are, and out there in the heartland of America, every little guy knows exactly what you mean. You hear that, Mr. Riddle? You have an appointment with destiny. A date with...
Destiny?
Destiny, yes, exactly. So Destiny, and his name is Seabiscuit.
Seabiscuit. But that's what it feels like. So Ferguson has kind of laid the gauntlet. He said, you don't have the guts to run against me.
Yeah.
And Walsh is responding saying, hey, you know what? Let's not wait until 28. I do think it's interesting, the timing of all this. And I don't know how this played into their decision to make an emergency clause that doesn't kick in until 29. Well, it kicks in 28, but on taxes, it wouldn't be until 29. You wouldn't pay him until 29. This is going to haunt Ferguson's re-election campaign. I mean, until...
What's going to be the story of this administration
for
the entirety of until
this is his defining characteristic now
is
he's the guy who signed an income tax into law in Washington without giving voters a say, and specifically to keep them uninvolved in the process.
Right, because he felt they had a financial, I understand, they felt they had a financial emergency that needed this type of redress that couldn't be relied upon for the voters to do the right thing. That's why they say it was an emergency.
For 3 years. It's an emergency in 3 years. Your house is on fire. We'll call somebody in 3 years. Yeah, right.
I think Ferguson sees the voting on the wall, that he's going to lose this when it gets to the people, and he's trying to reposition himself in this.
Well, then he
said, you know what? The people have spoken. We made a hasty decision to not trust the citizens of Washington, but they've spoken, and I'm their elected leader, and blah, 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 blah. I think having these guys debate on a monthly basis.
So smart.
It'd be so good for, I don't know if it's smart or dumb for either of the two involved.
It would not be.
But it would be so good for the state of Washington.
Yes. I think Walsh has nothing to lose, obviously.
He's going to get on the big stage.
And he's whip smart.
He's the Seabiscuit in this scenario.
He's the Seabiscuit.
Yeah.
Ferguson, he's the establishment war admiral. He does not want these debates. He has everything to lose by doing them. And yet, we would still like to invite him to come on the show. Bob Ferguson, if you're listening, anybody from your team, we've already reached out to the Walsh campaign. We're happy to have them on. Not even campaign. He's not running for election for governor. We've reached out to Jim Walsh, and we've said, hey, if you would be willing to come on, just like you have said, we would love to have you on the show. We'd also extend the invite to Bob Ferguson.
Sure, of course.
We're happy to have the two of them on the show, and they can exchange their ideas freely here, and we can let the listeners decide over a series of however many they want to do. If they want to give us a chance to do one of those, great.
You want to just meet us for a quick conversation and talk about the possibility of a series of debates.
If he does
in the same room.
Here's the thing.
Theoretically.
Here's another thing. If he does, it would be smart. If he doesn't, it would be tremendously bad. It would be stupid for him to not do this after saying that he doesn't have the guts to run against
It's a bad look.
It's a very bad look.
No way to spin that one.
So he should come on the show. All right, we got a lot more coming up. Stick around. We're going to be right back.
KIRO News Radio, winner of 7 regional Edward R. Murrow Awards. Breaking news coverage, best newscast, excellence in writing, investigative reporting, sports reporting, hard news, capped with a prestigious prize for overall excellence. And we thank you, our audience across the Pacific Northwest. You are the reason we strive to be the Northwest's trusted news source. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
Hey, Jake Skorheim here. If your summer home improvement list has a new roof, siding, or gutter upgrade, you owe it to your home to give Valentine Roofing a call. They've once again been awarded the best in the Pacific Northwest for roofing by the Seattle Times in 2025. And right now, qualified homeowners can take advantage of 0 down and 0% financing with 6 months deferred interest when paid in full within the promotional period. Financing subject to approved credit. Call 206 Roofing, and remember, when you see the red Valentine van, you know your home is in good hands.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Progressive knows it ain't easy navigating the open plains of home insurance, but there is one man who can help tame that wild herd of options. The Home Quote Explorer.
Note, Progressive's Home Quote Explorer is not a real person, but an online tool that lets you compare home insurance.
He's the type of feller who helps you decide on the right insurance, even if it ain't with him.
Again, not a person, just an online tool that helps you find great home coverage.
A real pioneer.
Okay, fine. Just do the thing. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? During the Xfinity Summer Savings Event, now through June 15th, new customers can get our best price on gig Wi-Fi. Just $50 a month for 5 years. And get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. Plus, add 1 line of Xfinity Mobile Select and you can save an average of $60 a month over Verizon and AT&T. You can even try it free for a year. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities during the Xfinity Summer Savings Event. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Savings based on 1 gig internet and 1 mobile select line compared to similar Verizon and AT&T plans over 5 years. After 12 months, regular rates apply to mobile select. Xfinity internet required. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable.
When Dennis suggested retirement planning to his wife, Linda, she had the same reaction lots of people do.
Do we really need it?
Then they attended a free seminar with elder law attorney Rajiv Nagayich at Life Point Law.
He asked me, what do you want? And he truly listened. And at the end of it, it was like, we need to do this.
There are many people on the radio that speak about many things. And when we got here and actually worked with the team that Rajiv has put together, it turns out that it is not just talk, it is action.
And in the worst case?
I said to him, if something happens to Dennis, what would I do exactly? And he said, you pick up the phone and you call Rajiv or you call me. And that right there was like peace of mind.
Register for a free Life Point Law retirement planning seminar in Tacoma on June 4th, Mukilteo June 6th, Lacey June 9th, or Bellevue June 13th, 6:30 p.m. Spaces limited. Sign up at lifepointlaw.com. That's lifepointlaw.com.
You could sleep through the night without thinking twice. You could take a seat in the middle of the theater. You could drive without worry of where the next restroom is. You used to say yes, and somewhere along the way, you stopped. Not because of one big moment, because of 100 small ones. A little more urgency, one more trip to the bathroom at 2 a.m., one more mental note about where the restroom is. It happened slowly enough that it just became you. But it's not you. It's enlarged prostate, and there's a treatment called aquablation therapy, the only ultrasound-guided robotic-assisted therapy for enlarged prostate. Find an aquablation therapist near you. Call Aquablation Seattle at 206-666-2466, 206-666-2466. That's 206-666-2466. All surgical treatments carry risks, and results may vary. Side effects may include urinary symptoms, mild pain, ejaculatory dysfunction, or infection. In rare cases, complications
complications to the urethra and rectum may occur. Aquablation therapy may not be right for everyone. Talk to your urologist to learn more. Visit aquablationseattle.com.
Stop living with missing teeth. You may qualify for full mouth implants at a reduced cost using your medical insurance. Call South Seattle Smiles today at 206-241-5533 to see if you're a candidate. SouthSeattleSmiles.com.
All right, welcome back to the show. We've got a lot of stuff we're going to get into at 1 o'clock, including Washington State Ferries are celebrating a milestone.
Mm-hmm.
Both good and bad, maybe.
Yeah.
And Wild Waves is going away.
Yeah, and I was wrong about what I thought was going to be done with that land. I was wrong.
Yeah. Are you surprised by the proposal? We'll get into that at 1 o'clock. I was very surprised.
Let's get into this.
All right, we can decide.
Because there's good news and bad news.
Well, it's
much like the ferry story.
It's bad news if you love water slides.
Well, it's bad news if you like more affordable housing.
Okay, we'll talk about it. I was shocked at what's going in there. Over the weekend, before the weekend, this is like a "What are you watching?" segment. So one of the things that my wife and I are really into right now on Netflix is a show called The Burrows. Have you seen and so I asked you over the weekend, I was like, oh, you got to watch or last week I said, you got to watch The Burrows because you hadn't seen it yet.
Not an episode.
And if you guys have not seen it yet, here's a little bit of the theme song. Great cast, good people, Alfred Molina, Gina Davis, who's got a very young looking face.
That's the kind way to put that. Yeah, she really does.
Bill Pullman, who's got like the best head of hair for an old dude ever. It's a really interesting show.
Alfre Woodard. It's a great cast.
Clark Peters, Dennis O'Hare. Here's the theme song. It's kind of mysterious. It's by the It's produced by the Duffer Brothers, who did Stranger Things.
Yes.
So
it's got a similar vibe.
Similar vibe.
Yeah.
Different show creators, runners, but they're like executive producers. Basically, they've like put their name on it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's very similar vibe. I told you that you should watch it. I was like, oh, you're gonna love this. And so, did you go ahead and watch it?
We did. The truly unpleasant Melissa and I, because we've been looking for stuff to watch together.
Yeah.
It's been a real effort of late to say, hey, let's instead of being different zones of the house.
Sure.
Where she watches How to Kill Your Husband, Get Away with It shows, and I watch political arguing. That's all we've been doing.
Yeah.
Let's bond over something.
You meet over dinner.
Yeah. So we decided to watch The Burrows, and both you guys, Laura and
you watched
both,
it too. Have you watched The Burrows?
You both recommended it.
I watched the trailer.
Oh, you were
and
aware
I thought
of
it looked amazing.
Okay.
Okay, so we jumped into it Saturday night. I made popcorn. I'm committed.
Yes. It's got a very Steven Spielberg-y vibe to it.
It's got a really retro look to it because of the setting it takes place in. But here's the problem. First off, let me just cut to the chase. She hated it.
Really?
My wife hated it.
Why?
Hated it. It's got a very...
she doesn't like scary things? Because it is a scary show.
It's a scary thing. She watches How to Kill People. She watches detective shows all day long. She's got SVU on a loop in the back of the room just playing.
But this is like creature scary.
It's creature scary.
Does that play into it?
That's nothing about what she hated about it. It's about retirement homes. It's about a retirement community.
Yeah, it's something mysterious is happening in a retirement community of independent living.
Yeah,
so they all have their own little cottage that looks like it's in the desert. It looks like Palm Desert.
Yeah, exactly. And it's isolated and self-contained, and you find out pretty quickly. It's a private incorporated.
Something's happening. Yeah.
This is too close. This is too close for us.
Oh, age-wise.
It was the age thing. They should have called it Older Things instead of Stranger Things, and we would have just skipped it from the get-go. Now, I loved it. But
you liked it, but she liked it. Older Things is a good title.
There were elements about it that, because, we're at the stage now and you've lost grandparents.
Yeah.
We're at the stage now where we've lost parents.
Sure.
And we've had parents who've had...
my wife's dad passed away.
So you guys are right.
We're behind you, a little behind you, but we're close.
But for Melissa and I, the idea of having to live in a community, even a wonderful community, but has where the security guard gaslights the residents. Oh, yes, this old crazy old lady forgetting again. That's what I want to write in my report. Little spoiler there for you.
Yeah.
Melissa just did not like anything about it. And I'm like, okay, I know.
Because it's got such great people,
I'm ready to start the second episode at I'm ready to binge in.
Yeah.
Right?
You're ready to skip the titles. You're like, just get to the second episode.
Exactly.
Do you do that, by the way? Do you skip titles?
You bet I do.
Me too.
You bet I do.
My wife doesn't like to. She goes, it sets a mood. I'm like, yeah, but we just watched it.
We're
on third episode
in the
here.
mood.
Yeah. So you guys hate. So you like it, but she hates it.
I had to watch the second episode alone.
I feel horrible because I was thinking it would be a fun thing to do together.
Right. We're back at different zones of the house.
I think it's only 8 or 10 episodes.
Yeah,
so
well, there's talk
quick...
of a season 2.
Oh, no.
Because, people love this kind of genre. And this is them. The Duffer Brothers, and they are just executive producers. But they saw, we got this younger demographic. Look what happened with Stranger Things.
Let's do the same
cultural
thing
phenomenon.
with olds.
They got even more money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
They got me.
I'm glad you liked it.
I loved it.
I like it too. All right, we got a lot more coming up. Stick around. We'll tell you what's happening where Wild Waves currently is when we come back. We'll be right back.
KIRO News Radio, winner of 7 regional Edward R. Murrow Awards. Breaking news coverage, best newscast, excellence in writing, investigative reporting, sports reporting, hard news. Capped with a prestigious prize for overall excellence. And we thank you, our audience across the Pacific Northwest. You are the reason we strive to be the Northwest's trusted news source. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
At T-Mobile Park, you've always got the best seat in the house. But if you're looking for a truly golden view, look no further than the seats on the first baseline, a.k.a. Trident-Town. Post up behind the Mariners dugout, and you get a great view of Logan Gilbert, Brian Wu, and our entire rotation at work.
Swing and a miss. Fastball upstairs, blew it by him, strike 3.
Not to mention the best view of the best home run celebration in baseball. When the Trident goes up, you know a party's going down.
And it's gone!
Mariners baseball. Trident's up.
Be here for this week's interleague matchup at T-Mobile Park as Julio and the Mariners welcome Juan Soto and the New York Mets for a 3-game set. The series gets underway tonight and tomorrow at 6:40 and wraps up with a midweek matinee Wednesday at 12:40. Get your tickets today at mariners.com.
Step inside and let the excitement take you places. This is Muckleshoot Casino Resort, the ultimate spot for action that reaches incredible heights, luxury that knows no bounds, and live entertainment that always thrills. It's all at one incredible destination. So when you look for the best, look nowhere else. Muckleshoot Casino Resort, the biggest and best in the Northwest.
Do you get sinus infections, congestion, sinus pressure and pain, sinus headaches? You've gone to the doctor. You visit urgent care over and over again. And it's always the same thing, right? Oh, I know. Let's try antibiotics and some nasal sprays. But they just keep coming back. You may suffer with chronic sinus infections. The good news? Relief is possible. How? A minimally invasive procedure called the Sinusoft procedure, available only at the Modern Nose Clinic. Imagine a procedure so delicate there are no narcotics. Less cutting means less bleeding, so no packing, and no operating room. The Sinusoft procedure is designed for the clinic. If you suffer with chronic sinus infections, facial pain, pressure, and congestion, find out if the Sinusoft procedure, available only at the Modern Nose Clinic, is the solution for you. Call and set an appointment today. 206-388-2770. 206-388-2770. That's 206-388-2770.
It started as a puddle.
Where?
In the shower.
Uh-oh.
Then the kitchen sink.
Started backing up?
Yeah.
I know where this is going.
Clogged up.
Right. No problem.
Beg your pardon?
There's no clog we can't clear.
You're Dan.
From Apollo Plumbing.
This is going to get pricey.
How about $83?
To clear my drain?
Apollo Plumbing clears main drains every day.
For $83?
$83 or it's free.
What's the catch?
No catch. We'll even do a camera inspection.
Why's that?
It's the best way to find the cause of your clog.
And it's included?
No extra charge. Truth is, we hate clogs.
I don't love them.
Seen them all.
Ew.
I promise. There's no clog Apollo can't clear.
Guaranteed.
83 or free.
Goodbye, slow drains.
All it takes is an accessible clean out.
And Apollo gets my drains draining again.
You call, we come, it's fixed.
My heroes.
Just doing our job.
Thank you, Apollo Plumbing.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
Don't wait. Insulate. Last year, American Crawl Space and Pest Services gave over $2 million in insulation rebates from PSE, more than any provider in the state. If your home was built before 1990, you're eligible for recouping up to 95% of insulation replacement costs. Insulate with American Crawl Space and keep your home warm during the winter and cool during the summer.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
For the ones who get it done, Grainger offers the professional-grade products you need, delivered when and where you need them. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio, KIRO FM, and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. After Iran state media signaled talks were off between the U.S. and Iran due to ongoing Israeli strikes in Lebanon, President Trump says he made separate calls to Israel's prime minister and Hezbollah mediators, and that says both sides have agreed not to attack the other. Iran still keeping a stranglehold on the Strait of Hormuz. Gas Buddy's Patrick DeHaan says that's sent trading oil prices up today. Americans could see prices at the pump go even higher.
The national average we still anticipate could be $4.80 a gallon over the course of this summer. So while we've gotten a little bit of a 2-week break from high prices, we could go right back up, and it's still not impossible that later this summer, even ahead of July 4, that we could see the national average pressing $5 a gallon.
Health officials say they're working to trace Ebola outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo, more than 1,000 suspected cases. But the WHO says there are no confirmed cases outside Central Africa. And severe storms are targeting parts of the South and Plains today. This is ABC News. In Los Angeles, officials are offering an update to security preps for next week's kickoff of the FIFA World Cup.
In what law enforcement here is calling one of the largest security operations in Los Angeles history, the focus is broad during World Cup events on things like drunk driving and fake tickets, but also on terrorism and the threat drones could pose. The FBI's Patrick Grandy says there will be teams looking for drones and forcing them down.
There will be a zero-tolerance policy that we have in effect. And we will be aggressively pursuing violators of those laws.
The sheriff here says he's been assured by the federal government there will be no immigration enforcement at FIFA events by ICE agents. Alex Stone, ABC News, Los Angeles.
The first match happening in L.A. with the U.S. hosting games across the country for weeks. In Laos, the remaining 2 missing miners in a remote cave have been located by rescue crews. They report hearing knocking sounds. Crews, though, still finding a way to get them out. 5 other miners were rescued earlier. Michelle Franzen.
A familiar name joins the Seattle Kraken as an investor. More on that on the way. First, your KIRO News Radio traffic. In Kirkland, northbound 405 and northeast 85th, we've got a collision at the very end of your off-ramp. It's blocking the right lane there in the roundabout, so it's causing traffic to jam up approaching that roundabout, and drivers are starting to stack up on that off-ramp. We're up to 25 minutes to travel through downtown Seattle on North 5. Heavy between the West Seattle Bridge, just past I-90, and really the Ship Canal Bridge backup isn't so bad. It starts right at the 520 off-ramp. South 5 continues to look good. Both directions of 405 are slow near the VMAC between 30th and 44th. And South 5 through JBLM, we've still got a brief backup there at the main gate. Tacoma to Olympia, still doing pretty good at just a 40-minute commute. This traffic report is brought to you by KIRO News Radio.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Nate Connors. A deadly shooting in eastern Washington has parents asking why pellet guns aren't treated like real firearms under state law. More from KIRO News Radio's Manda Factor.
A man died last week after being shot with a pellet gun by a young child. Casey McNerthney with the King County Prosecutor's Office tells Seattle's Morning News that case could come to prosecutors as manslaughter. But when a kid is caught with a pellet gun in a backpack at school and makes no threat, state law requires prosecutors to handle it differently.
The law was written when people thought of BB guns like what you see in a Christmas store. And so that comes to prosecutors, not just in King County, but statewide, as a mandatory diversion misdemeanor the first time.
McNerthney says if parents want things changed, they need to talk to their lawmakers. Manda Factor, KIRO News Radio.
A King County jury has convicted a Kent man on all 11 counts in a major Medicaid fraud case. Prosecutors say the man ran a fake nurse staffing agency using stolen identities families of real nurses to send unqualified imposters into long-term care facilities across the state. He was found guilty of leading organized crime, identity theft, and multiple theft charges. Investigators say the scheme put vulnerable residents at risk when imposters dispensed medication and performed care that they weren't trained for. He faces 12 to 16 years in prison when he's sentenced June 16th. Seattle Kraken ownership is adding a big new name. Billionaire philanthropist Melinda French Gates is joining as a minority investor. The Kraken released a video conversation with French Gates and owner Samantha Holloway.
You know, Seattle's long been my home, so I was thrilled when you formed the ownership group that you did. You've now taken control of Climate Pledge Arena.
The move comes as Holloway's group positions itself for a possible NBA expansion bid in Seattle. For now, ownership says their focus is on hockey, but the push for basketball is gaining momentum. If you live in unincorporated Pierce County, the annual burn ban starts today. KIRO 7 TV's Dee Sun reports the Stage 1 burn ban prohibits land clearings,
as well as burning any yard debris. If you live in unincorporated Pierce County, you should use alternatives like composting. Barbecues and small recreational fires in approved fire pits or on private property or in designated campgrounds are still allowed when safety guidelines are followed. If you get caught violating the burn ban, you could get a citation or a fine.
And your KIRO News Radio weather looks great for the next couple days. 73 and sunny today, 83 tomorrow, and then clouds. 65 Wednesday. A little more sun peeks through on Thursday and Friday. 69 and sunshine in downtown Seattle. I'm Nate Connors, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
And now, it's time for the Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio with your hosts, Jake Skorheim and Spike O'Neill.
Welcome back to the show. 1 hour down, 2 hours to go. Lots of stuff to get to. Jason Rance is going to join us in just about 30 minutes. We're going to discuss everything that's happening. It's primary day in Los Angeles. People are voting. California has a weird system. They have a top two system. So
it's sometimes called a jungle primary. Which
is that what it's called?
Yeah, some people don't like the verbiage of the jungle primary.
People hate
what
jungles?
it is. It's an open It's an open primary.
I love jungles.
Which means you can vote for any candidate to be affiliated with a political party.
Mm-hmm.
Most states are Republicans who can only vote. Registered Republicans can only vote the Republican primary. That way, you don't have voters coming in and flooding the zone on the other side, which has happened in various primaries. Bottom line is the top two vote getters, no matter who you're affiliated with, move on to the general election.
Which California loves because it's a pretty blue state.
It locks
usually
out,
means that in the general election.
It pretty much locks out conservative points of view and Republican candidates.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's why they do it.
That's why they do it, and it's a horrible idea.
I think it's a bad idea, too. I don't like it. But we will see what happens in L.A. For the mayor's race. It's likely to be Karen Bass and Spencer Pratt.
Looking that way.
Which could be interesting. Jason Rance will join us. We'll discuss at 1:30 whether or not in general election.
I was surprised at his commitment and
his
passion.
take on this.
Yeah, and
Okay.
he's not just throwing his opinion out there. He's digging his opinion in.
Does Spencer Pratt actually stand a chance of becoming the next mayor of Los Angeles? We will discuss at 1:30. Okay, we have a lot of stuff to get to. We teased this before the break, so we're going to get to this right now. Wild Waves is in its final season, and this is a local. I mean, there's nobody who's listening who has lived in Washington for more than 10 years who doesn't remember Wild Waves, and especially if you grew up here, what Wild Waves meant when you were like a teenager.
Yeah.
When you were especially like a preteen, to be so excited to be dropped off at a place where your parents would go like, all right, enjoy the day.
Right,
we'll be back in 5-6 hours.
And then it evolves to your high school years when this is where you really have the independence.
Yeah, a lot of people
and the
had
social connections. You bet.
Grad night parties.
You bet.
Yeah.
And I grew up in a different part of the country, but my kids were everything you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
My kids went through every phase of that.
Yeah.
From the Enchanted Village or whatever, the Enchanted Parkway is the road there, so I imagine it was Enchanted Village, to the water park, to the come on, Dad, to go.
Yeah.
Just don't even stop.
You
Just
want me to
slow the
stay?
car
No.
down and let me jump out.
Drop me off around the corner.
Right.
Exactly.
But this is it.
They're not a financially viable business anymore because kids are, you can't, the bottom line is you can't water slide with a cell phone in your hand.
That's really,
and
that is really it.
That's what killed,
That's what killed
Wild Waves.
Yeah.
is they need better waterproof phones. If you could have a waterproof phone that people could get in mass, that wave pool would just be full of kids.
And they'd be going down the slides with them.
They'd be going down the slides with them.
Wet selfies.
They'd be selfieing them.
All day long.
I think that's
genius. That could have been the difference.
That was the difference. If Wild Waves had only invented a waterproof phone a little bit faster.
So, when the story came a couple weeks ago that Wild Waves was announcing their final season, my first inclination was, okay, more housing. I mean, we see up along the I-5 corridor as the spine of Sound Transit has come online for the most part. We see just urban sprawl, residential growth up and down the line. I'm figuring that land right across from the main terminal right down there in Federal Way
There's
going to be 3,000 units there. There's going to be all townhomes, apartments, condos, you name it. It's perfect.
But what's it going to be?
I tell you what, what it's going to be is as important as what it's not going to be.
Yeah.
It's going to be a warehouse.
What?
Over 1 million square feet of warehouse space. 42-foot tall inside, which gives future tenants the option of making a multi-story,
Let me ask you a question.
3-story build-in.
Is this finalized? I mean, I know that this is part of it's a proposal that's been submitted. Again, like you said, a 1 million square foot industrial warehouse. Como News talked to park goers about this. I'm seeing the plans here from, is this Haas? Haas? Is that what it is? Haas?
That's the designer.
That's the
I believe, right?
Okay.
The architectural design firm.
Gotcha. It's a massive space. I mean, 1 million square feet is just an unbelievable
Imagine how
size
big that
space.
water park is, covered by warehouse. Yeah, I mean, it's that big.
Ironically, if the water park had covering and they could operate year-round, they might turn a profit. This is park goers who spoke to Como News about this. Listen to this.
Oh, that's really fun.
It was there since we were 13, and now what they're shutting down to be warehouses. It's terrible. The city's losing a gem. It's terrible. There's going to be so much more traffic, truck traffic through back streets and Federal Way. People are going to be leaving.
If they wanted to do something, they could have added on to the park or did something other than try to just destroy it, Because, where are we supposed to go now for a water park?
We used to go all the time, and I wanted to start taking the kids there, but they've never been, so this year will be the only time they ever get to go.
Is Great Wolf the only other option? Speaking of that one patron.
Good question.
Right, I think because when you're talking about where.
Yeah, but teens don't want to go to Great Wolf.
And Great Wolf is the
right. Mom and Dad dropped me off at
It's a different vibe.
Yeah, but Great Wolf's great for kids.
It's great for kids.
And families, but it's not like a teenage spot.
It's a resort. It's not just. I don't know if you're even allowed to use the water park features at Great Wolf unless you're staying at the hotel.
Well, no, of course not.
Right?
You're not allowed to use
exactly
Wild Ways if you don't pay to go.
No, but I'm saying you can't pay for a ticket to the water park.
That I don't know.
I know there's stuff over in Idaho. I think Silverwood is the closest one, but it is losing a Northwest resource.
Mm-hmm.
But all these stories, all these testimonials are all based in nostalgia, and I get it. But we're talking about the future.
Yeah.
It's just not practical. You're right. They could have enclosed it. They could have modernized. They could have year-rounded it.
It's not realistic because a tremendous amount of cost to cover something like that.
Yeah, exactly. It all comes down to money.
It's just a better spot for. Sadly, it's a better spot for a warehouse. That's what the appetite is for.
It is. I'm with you.
What's interesting is there's not even tenant. It's just a warehouse.
No, it's just the future, right? Future possibilities.
It's just somebody who said, "I'm willing to invest in 1 million square foot warehouse."
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if somebody's going to fill it up yet. They will because people fill up stuff like crazy. You know what you could do? Turn it into a storage unit. That's going to make some money. They would. 1 million square foot storage unit? Any
10
day.
foot, 20 foot, 30 foot. What size you want? Tall as you want. You want to put a sailboat in here? We got that kind of space.
Want to put a water slide in here? We got the space for it.
Store your water slide. It's not going to be residential. It's going to be warehouse. You know what it's not going to be, though? A data center. I was so worried.
Were you?
Yes.
I'm not worried about data centers.
I'm terrified of data centers.
I'm not terrified.
Oh, man, the environmental impact, the noise, the whole nine, the sucking of the power, they're massive.
No.
And they're intrusive. How about 1 million square foot data center down there? Tell me that wouldn't have been a war.
I feel like the data centers is a modern boogeyman.
Really? Okay.
Here's a lot of what I'm basing that on. A lot of the people who don't like data centers, I don't trust them on a lot of other things.
Oh, that's fair.
So the people who are saying, "Oh, data centers, scariest thing in the world," like Seattle City Council or whatever, just voted to say no data centers can be put in
a year-long moratorium, right?
In the next year.
Yeah.
Which would be impossible anyway. They're just we're going to figure out what our stance is on data centers. but no data centers can go in a year.
Well,
so
they
that
were
wouldn't be
proposing those
possible.
5 record-sized data centers, I think it was, that were pitched in
There
Seattle.
were stories about inquiries about possibilities.
Yeah,
they have
yeah.
36 data centers as it stands right now.
Yeah, but
they're just not large.
Yeah, right. They're the size of this room, not the size of this building.
Here's the other thing. They're always talking about like the scare tactics. This is far afield. But the scare tactics are always like, oh, data centers are going to drive up the price of your electricity.
Oftentimes they do.
Most of the data centers that go in now have their own electricity. They provide it themselves. So it may not even be an issue.
Yeah.
And a lot of
that's
times,
true, but
and
it's
a
not
lot
always
of times,
the case.
But in most of the cases, I believe. But in a lot of times, what they also do is provide massive amounts of money to the local economies. So, like, these are not, to me, again, we disagree on this. It's fine.
Yeah.
I just don't think they're the scariest thing in the world. But if people don't want them, whatever. I don't really care.
Well, I know the impact with regard to pollution, not just noise pollution, but other elements of it. They use a ton of water.
I've heard. I mean, they also use dirty water. So they're using stuff that you would never even want in your system.
I love dirty water. I'm kidding. But it's not a data center.
It's not a data center.
It's
you know what
a
they
big
should
empty
do?
warehouse.
They should use all the water from the pool
to cool
the
data
wave
center.
pool from the wild waves.
They could have kept the wave pool.
Yeah, they could
just put a data center in the bottom of it.
There you go. Perfect.
Help cover the cost of
All
slides.
right, let's move off of wild waves. It's in the past. I mean, it's still around, so you can go to wild waves. If you love it, go. You got limited
one more
time.
year.
And you know what? This is like the official start of summer. This is when now people can go. We're supposed to have hot weather. It's the next
82
few days.
tomorrow.
Be
That's
beautiful.
right. Yeah.
So
83 maybe on your phone.
Go to the wild waves
Yeah.
and spend some money and enjoy yourself. Make some memories that'll last a lifetime. All right. Speaking of lasting a lifetime and memories,
that's what we're asking of our ferry fleet. Nice.
Let's switch over to Washington State Ferries. 75 years today. 75 years. Washington State Ferries bought the Black Ball Line in 1951 to effectively creating the Washington State Ferry System. You want to know a fun fact, though, that I did not know about this?
What?
The original Washington State Ferry System, again, which was originally the Black Ball Line, apparently, they bought that for $5 million in 1951.
Wow.
Which I don't know exactly what that translates to today. It's, I mean, with inflation and everything, I'm sure it's a lot. I'm sure it's like $100-something million.
Probably so.
Somebody could tell me real fast. But that was not supposed to be. We have the largest ferry system in the nation.
Yeah.
I think we're like the second largest in the world,
system.
maybe. But
second
we're
largest in the world, largest in America. Yeah.
Largest in America. And they did not plan on being the largest ferry system in America. In fact, that was just a temporary fix. The Black Ball Line apparently was having some sort of a labor disagreement at the time, and there was a possibility that they were going to shut down, which we needed at the boats. And so Washington stepped in. They bought it for $5 million, and it was supposed to be a temporary solution until they finished building, because there was a proposal at the time. They were going to build some inter-island cross-sound bridges. Toll bridges. There was going to be 5 of them.
They were going to bridge the islands?
They were going to bridge the islands. I was just reading about that. I was like, I wonder what the history of the Black Ball Line is. That's really fascinating. So I was doing a little research. They were originally going to build these toll bridges, 5 of them, to connect the islands. We weren't even, and they were just going to then phase out the ferries that they had just purchased. That wasn't even a long-term plan. The proposal for the toll bridges ended up being voted down because it ended up looking like it was going to be fairly expensive, obviously. And so they decided, well, what if we just keep this ferry thing going? People seem to like boats. So it's a part of our highway system now. It's officially Washington State Highway. Anytime you're on one of those boats.
Yeah.
And now, 75 years later, it's the largest system in America. Isn't that amazing? Or at least vaguely. Isn't that vaguely interesting?
It makes perfect sense when you look at what's been needed through the evolution of the growth of this state.
Yeah.
That this system.
Ironically, growth is a funny word because they bought 18 boats and now we have 14.
Same boats.
Now we have 14
not
that
quite
are
the
currently
same
running.
Boats. Not quite the same boats.
Isn't that funny?
It is.
Our nation, our system is, our population has grown so much, and yet
it's funny because
they don't grow the system.
Here's what is funny about it is it's not like the mainland, if you will, of Washington that has grown. The islands haven't grown with that rate. They have grown, but not anywhere near to the scale that the main corridor of Western Washington living has grown.
Yeah, but you look at like the Seattle, Bremertons, the Edmonds, and the Kingstons.
Right, which makes the ferry more important with interactions with the island communities, and the island county. But that is still such an interesting, exclusive, unique way to live. that's unique to Washington State. When we talk about the quality of life here and why companies come here and why tourists come here and why people don't leave here or why they leave. But those island communities, it's like nowhere else in the country.
It's gorgeous.
I mean, there's places in Minneapolis or Minnesota, upstate.
Yeah, but they get very cold weather.
And big mosquitoes, which we really don't often get.
No.
But that is such unique quality to Washington State is that island community and the ferry system that makes it possibility.
We were on these just last weekend, I think.
Yeah, weekend before.
Last weekend,
yeah.
Weekend before. Thank you. And I'm always like I said earlier in the show, I'm like always chatting. So like there was a guy there. We were standing on the front. We had walked on. We're waiting to walk off. We're standing there, and as we're arriving at Kingston, and I was asking like, well, how deep? Because they're building that whole new terminal or the whole. It's not a new terminal. It's a new dock. It's a new dock.
Yeah.
And really cool construction, by the way. If you go over to Kingston, it's just cool looking. And I asked the guy, I was like, "How deep are these boats?" Because it looked like sometimes when the tide is out, I'm surprised that they can even dock there. And he's like, "Yeah, most of it's under the surface. I mean, like they're pretty deep. So the water." I was like, "How deep does the water need to be for them to make an approach to dock?" And I think he said somewhere around like 60 feet or something like that is what you can expect in Kingston. And it's just like, it is fascinating. As much as I gripe and complain about the system all the time.
Well, it could be run better.
It could be run better.
Yeah, we're not asking a lot. Just run it smart.
Yeah, just run it smart. Hire enough people to run the boats.
We don't fly in ferry. We just want you to run them smart.
Just run them smart. Just don't be dumb. Just don't be dumb.
By the way, it's $5 million back in 51, equivalent to $64 million today.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's a lot less than they spend now. But at least we have less boats.
Less than what the dock costs. At least we have less boats. Oh my gosh, that's
all right. Can we give an update on this? This was we didn't have a chance to get to this earlier. We wanted to wait until this segment to get to this. In Longview, have you been reading up on some of the Longview stuff? I mean, we have the very sad part, and we wanted to put this up on the website so that people know where they can donate money or whatever you can donate
to help. Yeah, it's a community that really needs the loving arms of Washington right now.
The Nippon Dynawave packaging pulp and paper plant, which horrible accident, 900,000 gallon vat of this white liquor substance implodes. 11 people now confirmed dead. They know all of
all been identified.
Last week they said there was like 10 missing, and because they couldn't go in because of chemical reasons and they had to be safe, and so now they know who the missing are and the dead are, which is very sad. But we did want to put up, so on mynorthwest.com, we're going to have a link where people can go and they can find out where they can make donations.
Yeah, there's a couple of community donations that are being set up, one through a local bank, one through the Longshoremen's Union. There's also ways for you to donate to the individual families who lost family members in this tragedy.
Yeah.
And that's a great way for us to show how much, we can't begin to understand what you're going through as the community of Longview. I think said earlier, I think Luke said it, that everyone in that community knows someone.
Yeah.
Everyone is impacted in that community by this tragedy.
I mean, what's the town, 38,000?
30,000 people.
Yeah, it's a small town.
As we learned, thanks to Jim Walsh, one of your first concerns, and you're the first person I heard bring it up, was how is this economically going to impact, and no, we're not being disrespectful to the loss, but how's this going to economically impact maybe the largest employer in Longview?
Yeah.
And Representative Walsh told us, well, that compound, only one working company element of that compound was lost in this horrific explosion, accident. And it's still 75-80% of this plant is still working.
Sure.
This community is moving forward as best they can under these horrific conditions.
Yep.
And there's ways that we can reach out and help these families and this community, because we really don't know the extent of the impact on the community. The immediate horrific loss is apparent, but
it's going to continue. That's so we posted this stuff on mynorthwest.com. But here's the part that jumped out at me too. I mean, beyond the loss of life, which is just awful. I also saw there was a report about the Department of Ecology.
Oh yeah, the environmental impact on this.
Well,
absolutely.
Which then affects more people in drinking water and all these things. But as they originally reported, they had 23 dead fish near the mill. By Saturday evening, they had counted up to 200. By Sunday evening, that number had jumped up to 2,000. I mean, those are exponentially increasing numbers. and then they have all the different types of fish.
Right.
Basically, any fish in those waterways that have been affected by this.
And we're talking about the Cowlitz River.
Yeah.
Into the Columbia River, where that's where the dump off is, because they use Cowlitz River, because Longview's right at the emerging of those two rivers, where they intersect. The Cowlitz comes in, dumps into the Columbia and then the plant is on the banks of the Columbia.
Okay.
They use Cowlitz River to flush that system that runs under Longview. One of the ways they helped alleviate the immediate damage and danger was to dilute the chemicals that had spilled by using fresh water from the Cowlitz to rush through their system. But that's all dumped into the Columbia. And these fish deaths that they're recording now are all freshwater in the Columbia. They have no idea how long this is going to impact the wildlife here.
Yeah, to the extent they don't know
how far it's going to go out, how it's going to impact every aspect of life in Longview.
It's just a crazy story. All right, we're going to put up on mynorthwest.com a place where you guys can go if you have the ability to donate, which
if you feel it in your heart,
very needed right
every
now.
little bit, it adds up quick, folks. It really does.
All right, we're going to switch over to some political stuff next. Jason Rance from Seattle Red 770. Jason Rance Show is going to join us next. We're going to give you his take on the LA mayoral race, which has grabbed a lot of national headlines. People are really watching that, going like, hey, what's going to happen? And what does that mean going forward? LA is as blue a state, as blue a city as you could possibly get.
Yeah, America's second largest city in America's largest economy, California, the largest state economy in the country.
And recently they have had some tough times. And so does that mean that they're going to start thinking different politically? Who knows? Jason Rance will join us next to talk about it. Stick around.
This hour is brought to you by Insulation Northwest.
KIRO News Radio, winner of 7 regional Edward R. Murrow Awards. Breaking news coverage, best newscast, excellence in writing, investigative reporting, sports reporting, hard news. Capped with a prestigious prize for overall excellence. And we thank you, our audience across the Pacific Northwest. You are the reason we strive to be the Northwest's trusted news source. KIRO News Radio. 97.3 FM.
Your old furnace ain't nice, and your toes are like ice.
DayandNight.net.
This month, Day and Night gives you a free furnace with the installation of an AC or heat pump.
If you're not sure your furnace will make it through another winter, call us to install a proper, long-lasting, efficient heating system backed by our lifetime workmanship guarantee, so you won't be left out in the cold.
Install an AC or heat pump and get a free furnace from Day and Night Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric.
DayandNight.net.
Holy smokes!
The On Cruise Adventures Rick Riz Show.
What happened at the ballpark yesterday?
Sparky's sitting on my scorebook here, my cat.
Friday mornings at 8:15 on Seattle's Morning News.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So, then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com. Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Nick, you know what's a great thing about going to Longevity Medical Clinic as a couple?
Oh, I absolutely do. When they tell you to do something, you actually do it.
Right. And the same thing with you. When they tell you to do it, because for some reason, when I tell you to do it, you're like, whoa.
I just walk away and roll my eyes.
Exactly. But the great thing about Longevity Medical Clinic, the doctors there know, because we do the blood draw and they look and they can see, they know, they hold us accountable.
Yeah, when I'm under pressure and I know I'm coming in, I know I have to work the program.
Right. Plus, we also want to hold each other accountable for how we take care of ourselves because, you know, we want to have a long, healthy, happy life.
I know. I want every day to torture you as long as I possibly can.
Well, I look forward to it. Here's the great thing about Longevity Medical Clinic. They're working with you. They're holding you accountable because they want you to have a long, healthy, happy life. I was a patient at Longevity long before I started doing these commercials. So get your free health analysis. Go to lmclinic.com. That's lmclinic.com.
What would you do if the person you love needed round-the-clock care and you had no plan to pay for it?
I was very worried about running out of money.
When Mike's wife was diagnosed with dementia, he turned to LifePoint Law and Elder Law attorney Rajiv Nagayich.
And then he said, you're going to be okay, but we have to get through these steps. Then I felt a whole lot better going into it. It was still a very difficult process, but in the end, I knew that there was someone there that if I needed help, understood what I'm going through.
LifePoint Law helped Mike protect his wife, his finances, and his future.
They laid it out really well up front. They give you a very in-depth plan. There are so many things that you don't know. I could never have done it on my own.
Register for a free LifePoint Law retirement planning seminar in Tacoma on June 4th, Mukilteo on June 6th, Lacey on June 9th, or Bellevue on June 13th. 6:30 p.m. Space is limited. Sign up at lifepointlaw.com. That's lifepointlaw.com.
Healthcare costs are rising, and a major driver is hospital prices. They've increased more than 250% over the past 25 years. Families and local businesses are feeling it. At Primera Blue Cross, we're working to change that by negotiating with hospitals to secure fair, responsible prices so you can get the care you need at a cost you can afford. That's coverage that counts. Learn more at coveragethatcounts.primera.com.
Your VA loan and reverse mortgage experts for 34 years. Best Mortgage is proud to be the longest-running mortgage company on KIRO Radio. Get a no-pressure consultation from a real person, never an AI bot. Web search Best Mortgage for honest advice you can trust.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Erin Granello, a Washington congresswoman now urging Nippon Dynawave to clarify its plans to pay workers following last week's tragedy at a Longview paper mill. The company initially committed to paying its employees during the federal safety investigation. Workers now say they've been told pay may only continue through June 7th. In a letter to executives, Representative Marie Glusenkamp-Perez is asking the company to stand by its original commitments. Governor Bob Ferguson today signed an executive order making Washington one of the first states to set workplace standards around menopause.
Like too many issues around women's health, we don't talk much about menopause.
Order directs state cabinet agencies to adopt accommodations and training and tells the Women's Commission to draft guidance for both public and private employers statewide. And now to the closing bell report there. With skyrocketing gas prices, Costco is seeing a record demand for gas. Here's KIRO 7 TV's Lindsay Sheldon.
During last week's quarterly earnings call, the company said some of its gas stations have needed tanker trucks to replenish fuel several times a day. The company also said the demand for gas at its stations is the highest in its 50-year history.
One of the big names in AI files for an IPO. ABC's Mike Dubusky explains.
Anthropic has filed paperwork with the Securities and Exchange Commission, kicking off the early stages of a planned public offering. The SEC will now review the company's finances, which are private for now, but will be released ahead of that IPO if it's approved. Anthropic is one of several AI companies that are planning to go public. Elon Musk's SpaceX, which owns his artificial intelligence company xAI, filed paperwork last month, and an IPO for OpenAI is also widely expected in the coming months. Mike Dubusky, ABC News.
And we now know what will come of those water slides and roller coasters at Wild Waves. Looks like they will be torn down to make room for a vast industrial warehouse site. The Federal Way Mirror reporting the project would include loading docks, truck access, and parking on the 1 million square foot property. The owners blamed financial struggles when they announced this would be the final season for Wild Waves. On Wall Street today, Dow gained 46 points, NASDAQ up 114, S&P 500 gained 20 points. And now to the real-time traffic desk. Here's Nate Connors.
Looking pretty good out there, Aaron. 20 minutes to get you through downtown Seattle on North 5. Your biggest backup is pretty thick between the West Seattle Bridge, just past I-90. And then really past that, it's not too bad. That Ship Canal Bridge backup starts just before 520. South 5 continues to look great with no significant backups heading through downtown. We do have some backups at the First Avenue South Bridge where we just had a marine crossing. It is now back open to vehicles. And the Point Defiance Ferry Terminal reporting a 1-hour wait for drivers. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Lots of sunshine the next couple of days. Mid-70s today, mid-80s tomorrow. Right now, 72 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
All right, welcome back to the show. We're going to get into some politics, both local and national politics, which we'll discuss. And we love to do that with Jason Rantz from Seattle Red 770. Jason Rantz Show joins us now. Jason, welcome to the show.
Hello.
For anybody out there who would just love some great reading, and it's a little fun, I like to think so, text GUTS to 888-973-5476. I wrote an article on this today, and we'll just send it to you for free. That's our gift to you. 888-973-5476.
Generous.
Text GUTS.
Usually you charge.
I usually charge for it, but today only, it's free.
No paywall here, baby.
No paywall. Obviously, it's free all the time. Please read. please click and read on my stuff. Is that thirsty? Jason, Bob Ferguson. Before we get into the L.A. stuff, I want to ask you about Bob Ferguson. Over the weekend, he posted a response to a Seattle Red story about Jim Walsh, who was asked about a potential governor's run. And Jim Walsh said, basically, like, yeah, I'm considering all things. I would consider it. He's a good politician, which means he's not going to say no, but he's not going to say yes. There's a lot of people who think that he would do a really good job in that position, by the way. A lot of middle-of-the-road people who think he could do a really good job in that role. Bob Ferguson responded by saying, you don't have the guts to face me in 2028. It's very like schoolyard bully-ish type of a thing and very like childish, I thought. What was your take on that? Why would he post that, and what does that say deeper? What's the deeper meaning to Bob Ferguson? Why is he posting this?
My guess is he would welcome a challenge from someone who is not a moderate. I think Bob Ferguson looks at the numbers. His polling has been pretty bad, actually, since he became governor. It's been pretty consistently low. It's getting worse because of this income tax. He's obviously going to be seen as kind of himself being on the ballot with these upcoming initiatives, including the income tax once it qualifies. And it would be easier for him in a deeply blue state to say, I'm running against a hardcore conservative who's going to be easily labeled a quote-unquote MAGA conservative versus someone who's maybe a little bit more moderate, maybe a little bit, less known, who can define him or herself much better than the Ferguson campaign will. And I'm guessing they're looking at those numbers and saying, I don't want to run against moderate in a couple of years. This is a deflection, of course, because no one's announcing anything for governor for a very long time.
He's trying to change the story.
100%.
You're exactly right. And if you're waiting for me to disagree with you about anything you said about Bob Ferguson, stop waiting. I'm not going to disagree.
Oh, no. I know you happen to be reasonable on this. There's one or two issues. This is
He's very reasonable on this.
But only twice a day.
Yeah.
Like a stop clock.
So do you think, though, that is Bob Ferguson scared about his job prospects, given the amount of people who have, let me ask it this way. If he had not signed the income tax into law, he probably would have nothing to even worry about. But because he did sign it into law, does he now have to say, hey, I'm going to be tied to this, and people are going to be voting with this issue in 28, and it doesn't even kick in until 28, which coincides with his reelection campaign? Is that going to hurt him?
He is in a very vulnerable position, not just because of the income tax, but you have three initiatives that are very popular with the people, which is the trans athletes as well as the parental bill of rights, or at least returning the parental bill of rights.
Sure.
So you've got that plus the income tax, all polling very clearly against Bob Ferguson. And, of course, coming off of just making the claims the legislative session beforehand, I will not be raising taxes. And then he signs the largest increase in taxes we've ever seen. So he's in a vulnerable position. I don't know if he's scared, but I imagine he's at least a little bit anxious. I don't think you should, unless there's a massive scandal, I don't think a Democrat governor in Washington state should ever feel scared.
Yeah.
Anxious, maybe.
I think the three issues you raised are all of import, but I think the two issues with regard to transgender athletics and with regard to parental bill of rights, those pale in comparison to the income tax.
Oh, I agree.
Absolutely. So, and I think Ferguson really feels like he can put this horrible mistake behind him when it's voted on in November and this goes away. And I think it's far enough away from his next election cycle that'll be so far in the rearview mirror. He can say, look, we made a mistake. We listened to the people we learned. He could he's not a stupid politician.
I agree.
He can spin this in his benefit.
I think he will spin this.
Yeah.
The problem is he will have to defend it over the course of the next several months.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Right.
Next year is going to be tough.
He will be defending this tooth and nail, and that means he can spin it all he wants. You then have your attack ad already, which is him defending something that's deeply unpopular. That's his biggest problem.
I think you're right. I had said last week I thought that he still maybe believes he could win an election on this. He could win a public vote on this. Do you think was I wrong?
There's no way he believes that. He's not that dumb. There's not a single Democrat right now who thinks they can win this issue. If it was actually voted on this particular issue, or if you were judged by this issue, there's not a single Democrat who thinks that they can win.
People who still
outside of maybe Seattle.
It's still not enough voters to believe that this is them, not me. This is going after the super wealthy, not me. As
no one believes that because that's not their intent. They made their intent pretty clear. They could have very easily.
They could have made it that many times.
Yes,
decided
they had the opportunity. They chose not to intentionally. So I just don't think that's how they'll spin it, of course. But they won't be able to then defend when they say, well, why didn't you write that into the law? It was a literal amendment that you could have signed on to, and they chose not to do it.
Let's move down south a little bit to Los Angeles. This is a big day tomorrow, I guess, is a big day in Los Angeles. There's going to be. I saw there's already,
California, yeah.
I saw there's already ballot boxes on fire, which is interesting.
No, really?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Did you not see that?
No, I didn't see that.
There was at least one that was targeted.
Okay. So, but Spencer Pratt, Karen Bass, are they the two likely for general? Is that going to happen, or is Nithya Raman? She's the other candidate. She's independent, right? Candidate in
well, she's
LA.
The socialist. I mean, she's like the Mamdani, Katie Wilson style candidate. Karen Bass is the incumbent.
Who's
Democrat.
going to be it's going to be a runoff. Yes. Nobody's going to get.
It would be very difficult to get to 50% in Los Angeles, given the three in the polling.
Given the three,
is it possible? Sure, I guess. It seems very unlikely. We'll see what the turnout's going to be. Everyone seems to acknowledge there's momentum for Spencer Pratt. It's entirely possible, depending on how the vote is split between Raman and Bass, that he actually is the winner tomorrow. He's not going to win the election in November, short of some sort of, again, massive scandal. But he's got momentum. But the only part of me I just kind of worry about is that momentum on Twitter and in media is not momentum in real life. Now, the polling shows he's actually got a shot and is number 2 right now. There was one poll that came out over the weekend from the California Post showing that he was in the lead by 1%. I don't buy that at all.
Polls are.
I don't believe that at all.
Yeah.
But I'm from LA. I talk to people in LA, and I've got some folks who are pretty liberal who are like, they may not be hardcore Spencer Pratt fans. I know one who's voting for him, but they don't like Karen Bass. And Karen Bass has been an absolute nightmare as mayor, especially with the fires. And that is such an emotional pitch for Los Angelinos and specifically for Spencer Pratt, who loses his home. His parents lose their home.
That was his open introduction to the race.
And that's the kind of passion you generally want from people. Yeah. And you're willing to say, I know you don't have a background running a government, right, that you're not an elected official, but it's that passion that I think wins people over to say, maybe I'll give this person a shot because he's been harmed, he has something to prove, and frankly, the person who has a whole bunch of experience led us to this point that we're currently in. It's still going to be very, very, very difficult no matter what happens tomorrow for Spencer Pratt to win.
So let's say it's him and Bass in the runoff. What would it take for him to actually win it? You say just a miracle?
She could drop out the day of the election.
She just decides.
Horrible alien love triangle story breaks in the Inquirer.
There could be a legitimate scandal for fraud and abuse.
No, you're right. Is there any way that, he's got so much money behind him. He's got so much, industry, corporate support behind him down in California.
She has way more money. Way more than him.
My point was going to be, is that momentum of financial and institutional support in California going to grow as it comes to the
momentum begets momentum, right? I mean, the second you say, hey, we have a whole bunch of people giving us money, then more people want to.
Is there an amount of money that could win this race short of a catastrophic collapse by Bass? Is there? I mean, because we're talking about a lot running for governor.
Yeah, he doesn't have that much money.
He's got every billionaire in town in his camp.
Well, Tom Steyer's a billionaire who's running for governor.
I mean, he'll get behind.
I don't think he's got as much money as you or won't have as much money as I think you think he will. Yeah. Remember, the celebrities and they're backing Karen Bass, and they're going to give her money. They're going to continue to give her a ton of money. She's going to be well financed. He'll get a nice little boost depending on how well he does tomorrow. Okay. But ultimately, anything he can do to get in front of voters, and his AI ads are killing it, and he's not spending all that much money on it. He's spending like a few $1,000s, and it's getting in front of a lot of people.
We have 30 seconds left. What would it mean if he did win and he won the mayor's office in LA? What would that mean in Los Angeles?
Oh, I think it would give someone who doesn't have a whole lot of experience a chance to do what Mamdani and Trump did, which is appeal to people who didn't...
Or Katie Wilson.
Or Katie Wilson. Like, it could go either way,
right?
It's
going to be disastrous.
It could be, or it could not be. I don't know.
Every other example you've given us, I know you guys are not crazy about. So.
Well, I'm not calling Mamdani or Trump a disaster. Wilson, so far, has been. But I'll be on CNN tomorrow night calling the race, I think.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Nice.
It'll be fun.
I look forward to it.
National star now. Jason Ranch, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
We got a lot more coming up. Stick around. We're going to be right back.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
Insulation rebates from PSC are at historic highs. American Crawl Space and Pest Services gave over $3 million in PSC insulation rebates last year, more than any contractor in Washington. Homeowners, business owners, and PSC trust American Crawl Space and Pest Services. Was your home built before 1990? Visit AmericanCrawl.com to see how much you can save on replacing your insulation.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
Hey, John, why don't you tell everybody why you started going to Longevity Medical Clinic?
No, I don't want to do that. I can tell you, I started going to Longevity Medical Clinic before I started doing these commercials, but why I went is not important.
Oh, it absolutely is.
Okay. I'll tell you. I was a Sammamish City Council member, and whenever they had asked me to do the Pledge of Allegiance, I couldn't make it through the whole thing without crying. I know, it's so dumb. I mean, I know I'm patriotic, but what the heck? So I go into Longevity Medical Clinic, and I explained this to them, that there's something wrong with my hormones or something, and they see the testosterone and the estrogen are all out of balance. We balance all that stuff, and I can do the Pledge of Allegiance without crying. But I've also noticed that I deal with stress a lot better, don't I?
Yes, you're a lot easier to live with because you're getting more sleep, you have more energy, you're better organized, and I'm not helping you look for your car keys every morning.
Right, because now I've taken the steps to take care of my mind and body. I strongly recommend anybody get the free health analysis at lmclinic.com. That's lmclinic.com.
Guys, tired all the time? Gaining weight?
Low drive? These aren't just signs of aging. They could be low testosterone or other underlying issues. This June, for Men's Health Month, Revive Men's Health in Seattle is offering a free comprehensive wellness panel, a $400 value. It checks your testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, kidney, liver, thyroid, and heart health. No guessing, just answers. Over 100,000 men have trusted Revive to get real results. More energy, better sleep, improved mood, and confidence that shows. If something feels off, don't wait. Take control and protect your long-term health by knowing your numbers. This offer ends June 30th. Schedule your free comprehensive wellness panel today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Feel better, live stronger. Start now.
This might be the most surprising statistic I've shared in decades of doing local news. More than 75% of commuters will be involved in a car accident at some point. JP Pendergast of Pendergast Law with more.
What makes it more surprising? The average person will be involved in 3 to 4 collisions in their lifetime.
With accidents unbelievably prevalent, what are some safety tips if it happens to you?
Safety first. Secondary collisions are not uncommon while awaiting help. Turn on those hazards and remain in a safe place. If a bystander witnessed the accident, capture their information and encourage them to remain at the scene. Seek medical attention immediately if needed, as delaying can be a costly mistake. Lastly, remember that statements made to police and insurance adjusters can affect your case.
Collisions are more common than we'd like to think. If you find yourself in one, follow these helpful tips and then call my friends at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one's injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
PendergastLaw.com.
The team that gave me back my full head of hair, Advanced Hair, is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. Dr. Perongo and his world-class team begin regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. And Advanced Hair guarantees your new hair will grow, just like they did for me. Find out why Advanced Hair is the best of the best. With your free consultation, you'll receive $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
Amazon Business with smart business buying. Innovative AI tools optimize your purchasing experience, paired with delivery options built for business. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
Clutter happens. Let Closets by Design save the day. For a limited time, get 40% off plus an additional 15% off and 18 months 0% financing on approved credit if paid in full. Go to closetsbydesign.com or call 1-800-BY-DESIGN.
Welcome back to the show. We've got a very interesting topic we're going to get into at 2 o'clock. Just a little tease ahead. There was a hit and run. They're still looking for one of the drivers in this hit and run. Somebody ended up dying, a pedestrian who was trying to cross the highway. But it calls into question a very interesting, well, we'll get into it at 2 o'clock. Okay. And I'd like to talk about it in a little more depth. Right now, what I want to talk about, I saw this story. This is really interesting. Serena Williams, are you a tennis fan? You look like you go out there and
I whacked the old
lace up the old
Wilson. Yeah, big.
I couldn't even come up with.
I was as a kid. You know, when I was because living in the city, fun was expensive. We didn't ride or we didn't ski. We just
cost of entry, tennis racket,
and a can of balls. But we scraped together enough for a can of balls. We had a weekend in front of us.
Sure.
Yeah, but as adults,
it's a tough game. It's a finesse game. I mean, tennis is a really tough game.
It's a very cardio-centric game.
Yeah.
Mobility is key.
Like all of you, I hated tennis lessons when I was a kid. All the time. I always sat out of tennis lessons all the time.
Lessons?
Yeah. I'm just kidding. I didn't tennis lesson. You kidding?
No, the yachting I could handle. The sailing lessons weren't so bad.
Sailing lessons were fun. Tennis lessons on my boat, super annoying because of the waves. No. Serena Williams, she's trying to make a comeback at 44 years old. How is that even possible? She's the most popular. I looked this up. Serena Williams, I asked AI, I said, who's the most popular female tennis player of all time? By far and away, it's Serena Williams.
Really?
Yes. Well, of course.
There have been numerous.
Yeah, there's a lot of good players.
I'm talking about different eras, Steffi Graf. There's Martina Navratilova. There have been incredible tennis players. But you could argue that Serena has eclipsed them all.
She's like Michael Jordan of that sport.
Yeah,
for women tennis players.
And from a cultural perspective,
she's just such a massive
nobody
star.
comes close.
Such a massive star. She also is a highest earning female tennis player of all time.
Well,
in prize money, she won 9. But again,
and a backup shortstop on the Cleveland Guardians earns more than Ted Williams earned his entire career.
That's true.
So you got to put it in perspective.
But she's also very successful.
She's incredibly successful.
She has won. Listen to this, how much money she's made. So she's not coming back for money, I don't think, because she's made a lot. She has made in prize money. She's made $94,816,000 just in prize money. She's got 23 Grand Slams. In off-court endorsements, she's around $500 million. So she's doing very well. You've probably seen her lately. She's doing those GLP-1 ads.
Yeah,
she's gotten real fit.
It's Roe, I think, is her company that she endorses her, or she endorses. Yeah, that's what it's for.
She's on the commercials. She says she's lost a bunch of weight. She's back to fighting for him.
Isn't her husband a part of that world?
That's what the internet says. He's like an investor or something
in that company, in the GLP-1.
And he founded or co-founder of Reddit.
So
they've got some money. He's got some money. She's got some money.
So she's not coming back for the money.
I don't think she's coming back for the money. I do think it's because she's got that competitive fire. It's like, I heard an interview one time with Mike Tyson. And you've probably heard this too, but he came out of retirement at some point, and he said he's got that. The gods of war have awoken inside of him. Do you remember when he said that?
Yes.
Just describing, he is just a guy who wants to compete.
Well, Jordan had it.
He
was a Washington Wizard, for the love of God.
Sure. Tiger Woods. You can't keep him off the course.
He's his own worst enemy. We're not going to get into that, but you're right. That's the kind of, what do they call it? The gods of war?
The gods of war.
That's what lifts these type of athletes to this level of success, to make them the best of the GOATs.
There's a fire inside them.
Brady's got it.
Beyond the natural talent, which they have.
Yeah.
Beyond the hard work that's required.
The commitment.
Just something else.
Yeah.
In this case, it's not GLP-1. She looks great, but I don't think that's what it is.
Well, she's lost 31 pounds, and she said that it was the inability to lose post-birth weight that probably cost her a few wins along her career.
Sure.
She's only 4 years removed from the game. There are examples of tennis players being successful into their 40s. And she's looking at coming back.
She's mid-40s.
She's 44.
It's been a while since
4 years.
Yeah, that's a long time.
She's still better than 98% of the planet.
We'll see. Oh, yeah, easily.
Right?
She's better than 99% of the planet.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Can she win?
But professional tennis players?
Yeah.
After 4 years of being away?
She's 98% better than most people playing tennis professionally today.
You think so?
I do. I think given her God-given skills, her gods of war.
She's very good. Yeah. She's very good. And if anybody can do it, I think she can. All right, we got a lot more coming up. Stick around. We'll be right back.
KIRO News Radio, winner of 7 regional Edward R. Murrow Awards. Breaking news coverage, best newscast, excellence in writing, investigative reporting, sports reporting, hard news, capped with a prestigious prize for overall excellence. And we thank you, our audience across the Pacific Northwest. You are the reason we strive to be the Northwest's trusted news source. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
It started as a puddle.
Where?
In the shower.
Uh-oh.
Then the kitchen sink.
Started backing up?
Yeah.
I know where this is going.
Clogged up.
Right. No problem.
Beg your pardon?
There's no clog we can't clear.
You're Dan.
From Apollo Plumbing.
This is going to get pricey.
How about $83?
To clear my drain?
Apollo Plumbing clears main drains every day.
For $83?
$83 or it's free.
What's the catch?
No catch. We'll even do a camera inspection.
Why's that?
It's the best way to find the cause of your clog.
And it's included?
No extra charge. Truth is, we hate clogs.
I don't love them.
Seen them all.
Ew.
I promise, there's no clog Apollo can't clear.
Guaranteed.
83 or free.
Goodbye, slow drains.
All it takes is an accessible clean out.
And Apollo gets my drains draining again.
You call, we come, it's fixed.
My heroes.
Just doing our job.
Thank you, Apollo Plumbing.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
You bought an RV, and you got an automatic discount from Progressive by bundling it with your home or auto insurance. That's great, but a serious word of warning every RVer should heed. You don't need to talk about things like dry weight or dump stations. And you don't need one of those expensive water filter straws either. Because the most extreme thing most RVers encounter is a campsite without hookups. So just enjoy yourself. And Progressive's automatic discount when you bundle your RV, boat, or motorcycle with your home or auto insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations.
This is the story of the one. The one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Spike O'Neill here for Ageless Living. Recently, my aunt had surgery, and she was home the next day. But we weren't sure if we were ready or equipped to give the kind of care that she needed, so we called Ageless Living and asked about respite care. A short-term stay that provides 24/7 expert care, Ageless Living amenities, and peace of mind for you and your family. Go to agelessliving.com/spike and schedule a visit. It can be a much-needed break for a caregiver and a chance for you and your family to get a look and a taste of what Ageless Living offers. That's agelessliving.com/spike.
Hey, when was the last time you inspected your crawl space or your attic? What's the last time you went in there just to see what kind of shape they're in? Oh, never? Yeah, same. I don't want to go in there. Most homeowners completely avoid those areas, but it is important to check on them regularly. It's why you call Crawl Pros. They'll come out and go where you don't want to. Hey, it's Mike Salk here. And yes, when Crawl Pros came out to my place, they realized we had a little problem with our insulation. So they've set about fixing it, and they did a great job. But if you've got the same problem, they'll also look to see what kind of energy rebates are available. Right now, local utility companies are incentivizing homeowners to make their home more energy efficient with proper insulation. And some homes qualify for several $1,000s in savings with these utility rebate programs. So don't just assume your crawl space and attic are in great condition. Do what I did. Call Crawl Pros today and schedule a free corner-to-corner inspection and find out if you've got water intrusion, mold, rodent issues, or even damaged insulation. Schedule your crawl space and attic inspection at crawlpros.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. The Justice Department says it will abide by a Virginia judge's ruling that temporarily ordered the $1.8 billion fund to be frozen amid litigation. Democrats now also introducing a bill to block the so-called anti-weaponization fund from using taxpayer money to pay Trump or his allies after the president agreed to drop the case against the IRS. ABC's Alex Mellon has more on the original case.
A judge down in Florida who actually was the one overseeing President Trump's case against the IRS. That judge now, after a bipartisan group of judges submitted a filing asking her to reopen the case, she did say now she's ordering the administration by June 12th to provide answers on whether they committed a, quote, fraud on her court.
In a social media post, President Trump says he spoke with Israel's leader and Hezbollah mediators, and both have agreed to pause fighting. It comes after Iran media says leaders were suspending talks with the U.S., claiming Israel was violating the ceasefire deal. On Wall Street today, stocks ending up. This is ABC News. Authorities say they've discovered a new cross-border tunnel between the U.S. and Mexico.
The tunnel is about 869 feet long and 21 feet deep, running from Tijuana into San Diego. Mexican authorities made the announcement after carrying out a search warrant at a home, and they say the tunnel has lighting and ventilation. They believe it was a storage, logistics, and trafficking center for weapons, explosives, and drugs. They say methamphetamine, marijuana, and cell phones were found inside the tunnel. Alex Stone, ABC News.
In New England, residents jolted by a boom from a falling meteor this weekend.
Doorbell cameras from Montreal to Delaware captured the sound as a space rock about 3 feet across entered the Earth's atmosphere at an estimated 75,000 miles per hour and exploded. The meteor also left a radar signature. At NASA, using those images, along with witness accounts, has determined that fragments of the rock lie at the bottom of Cape Cod Bay.
ABC's Jim Ryan, Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
Coming up, the calls for justice following that chemical explosion in Longview. That's after Nate Connors at the traffic desk.
We continue to see most of our major routes wide open. In Everett, eastbound 526, you're packed to leaving the Boeing plant over to I-5. South 5 heading into Seattle, getting crowded now, approaching the Ship Canal Bridge in the downtown. Nothing real significant here. It's still under 20 minutes from Linwood to Seattle. North 5, 20 minutes to get through downtown Seattle. You've got a thick backup from the West Seattle Bridge past I-90. Then it opens up for you, and then that Ship Canal Bridge backup starts just past Mercer. South 405, we're filling in between I-90 and the Renton Landing. Bellevue to Renton, just under a 20-minute commute. And if you're going through Tukwila, southbound I-5, approaching the Boeing Access Road, the right lane is blocked by maintenance crews. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. All the remains from that chemical explosion in Longview have now been recovered and identified. And as those 11 families grieve, a mass casualty attorney says they deserve justice. KIRO 7 TV's Brooke Griffin with more.
Kevin Durkin with Clifford Law Offices in Chicago worked on the deadly Amtrak crash in DuPont in 2017 and the Alaska Airlines door plug blowout.
If you retain a lawyer, you can do what you need to do and grieve and let everything else get worried by someone.
11 people were killed and several more hurt in the Nippon Dynawave implosion last week.
I want to make sure we find out exactly what happened, who was at fault, who's being held accountable, what's being done to make sure this never happens to another family.
He says there will be civil lawsuits filed in the coming months and possibly criminal filings too.
2 people now in custody in connection with last week's murder of 17-year-old Braylon Diaz in Parkland. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch has the updates.
The Pierce County Sheriff's Office says a 26-year-old woman and a 25-year-old man were arrested separately late last night in Snohomish County. Deputy Carly Capetto says the pair pulled up in a car, robbed Diaz of his jewelry, and shot him. Deputies are still searching for at least 2 others. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
An 18-year-old Tacoma man pleads not guilty this morning to 3 counts of first-degree assault in a Capitol Hill shooting. Prosecutors say Jamari McQueen opened fire outside the Cultura nightclub on East Pike 2 weeks ago after arguing with another man. Court documents say McQueen also shot that man and hit 2 bystanders. McQueen's trial is set to start on July 20th. Billionaire philanthropist Melinda French Gates is joining the Seattle Kraken ownership group. The team released a video of French Gates alongside Kraken owner Samantha Holloway.
You've now taken control of Climate Pledge Arena. I just think it says volumes about the Seattle fan base and what can be built here. So it was my great honor to join you.
Holloway and her team have been open about their pursuit of bringing back the Sonics. The addition of French Gates strengthens that position as the NBA explores adding a team in Seattle. Now to your forecast. We are seeing lots of sunshine today. Highs in the mid-70s, mid-80s for tomorrow. Hottest day of the year so far. Right now, 72 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
And now, it's time for the Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio with your hosts, Jake Skorheim and Spike O'Neill.
Welcome back to the show. All right, 2 hours down, 1 hour to go. Got a lot of stuff to get to. Did you see the story, Spike, about this hit and run that happened over the weekend?
Yeah, right there on I-5, right at the Mercer exit.
Yeah. I would like to get into this for a second. Sure. Let's give some of the details. You can read about this at mynorthwest.com. We'll give some of these details, and they're seeking one of the drivers who hit this guy, who's now dead, which is very sad. But let me give you some details, and then we can dive into it. According to Washington State Patrol, around 1 a.m., a 53-year-old man was attempting to make it across all southbound lanes from the left shoulder to the right. Police say the first driver that struck a man, 64-year-old Stanwood man, was in a Honda Civic who did stop after hitting him, but troopers said that a second driver who also hit the man did not stop. The driver continued southbound on the freeway. Medics arrived shortly thereafter. They pronounced the pedestrian who was hit by these 2 vehicles dead at the scene.
Yeah.
And now they're looking for this second vehicle, and they don't have much to go on. They say they describe it as silver in color.
Yeah.
But again, this is a 1 a.m. description. Who knows if it's even silver? We don't know a make. We don't know a model.
Right.
We don't know what the car looks. There's a lot of silver cars out there.
Yeah, State Patrol's asking for any information that could help find the second motorist who hit this pedestrian. If somebody may have a dash cam or witness the incident themselves.
Yeah.
So if you know anything about this, if you know somebody who's told you in secret that they hit somebody else, we got to know what to do. Call the State Patrol.
So if the second driver can be tracked down, they will likely face a charge of felony hit and run, which is a big deal. So let me ask you this question. What do you do in a situation like this? Like, it's tough to say also what you would do. I mean, like physically, what you would do in a situation like this.
Yeah.
It's late at night. Imagine waking up on Monday and reading a news story about this and being like, you know what? I thought I hit something in the road over the weekend when I was driving, which does happen from time to time. It's the middle of the night. You're on a freeway. You would not assume that would be a person. It's possible that the person who drove off thought that they just hit debris in the road.
Debris, an animal. You don't know. And we don't know what was in the mind. We really don't know the details of how the second vehicle struck the pedestrian who had already been hit once, what they were, what kind of shape they were in, where they were on the roadway. You just don't know.
We don't know the age of the person.
Okay.
So what was, as you read this, like, what were all the things that were going on in your mind? Because I thought this was just a horror story.
It is a horror story, and you put yourself in the position of the second driver. In the most charitable interpretation, is you were confused, you may be in shock, you weren't really clear. You've heard the old analogy: the cover-up's always worse than the crime. The first driver that struck this 53-year-old a pedestrian trying to cross all 4 lanes of southbound traffic on I-5. That person's not supposed to be. I don't even know how they got to the far left lane, the inside lane of the southbound, because that's an elevated roadway there. It's not like they hopped a median and was coming across like on Aurora per se.
Maybe they were walking along and they decided to make a crossing.
Maybe they made it all the way across from right to left,
and then we're returning.
We're trying to come back, or maybe they walked up the Mercer on ramp and came back. Who knows how they got there? The point being this: the first vehicle that struck this guy knew what happened, and he stopped.
Yeah.
I can't imagine there'll be any kind of criminal liability for this guy. It's not supposed to be a pedestrian in the roadway.
You've got a pedestrian on the middle of the highway.
Exactly. So, and with regard to the second driver, if you stop, and you don't know in the fog of the moment, that's an incredible occurrence.
Yeah.
Incident to happen to anybody. It's traumatic. That you hit something is traumatic. That you may have hit a person is incredibly traumatic.
But you got to. I always think of this from like my kids' standpoint. When my kids are driving someday, what would they do? The young person tends to want to evade scary situations.
Avoid trouble, sure.
They want to avoid trouble. Yep. They might think, hey, you know what? If I just drive off, I can't get in trouble. I mean, the fight or flight.
You stop at the first point and look at your car. You don't see any damage. Okay. Okay. And you just keep your head down and don't say a word.
Try to convince yourself it wasn't what you think it might have been.
Yeah.
But you got to stop. Number one, you got to stop. It's so much better, like you were saying, it's so much better to stop and face the consequences, which in this case, you would not have gotten in trouble. Like whoever did this, who's ever driving, right. I would assume, just like the first driver stopped.
I would assume
that they would assess the situation. They would go, hey, this probably likely a homeless guy. Possibly he was on drugs. On a freeway in the middle of the night. Again, I don't know any of this stuff yet, but these are just things that I'm assuming based on the time of day and the actions that he was taking at the time. Police would probably say, hey, we're going to take your name. They probably wouldn't arrest you. They would probably send you home. They might impound your vehicle because it would be part of an investigation.
Yeah, it may very well be the case. Yeah.
But if I'm just imagining if like 1 o'clock when was this? When was this
1 o'clock on Sunday morning. Sunday morning.
Okay, so you're out Saturday night. You're downtown.
Right.
You're coming home from a fun night with friends.
Yeah, well, you're on I-5 southbound, but you're going home.
You're going home, wherever you're going.
Yeah.
And you hit something in the road.
Right. Yeah, but then take the location into account. That stretch, there is no place to pull over on the roadway there. I mean, you really got to take an exit from I-5, which are all on the western side, the right-hand side of the roadway headed south. You've got to pull over at that point. You've got to leave the freeway, and you're downtown at 1 o'clock in the morning. You have no idea what shape your car is in. Do you then double back?
Yeah.
Do you then double back to the Mercer on ramp, and do you park? How do you contact emergency officials?
Well, you call 911.
Exactly.
You pull
stop
off
your car.
First
you say,
safe place.
That's.
You call 911.
That's the rational, not going through the shock of the moment.
But again, you're right. Shock
of that moment. Yeah.
You might be in shock, and you might. Oh, what was that? You may not even be seeing. Also, because I don't know the state of the guy in the road. If the first guy hits him in the Honda Civic.
You don't know what.
And the second person who hits him, maybe he's not a standing individual. Maybe he's now somebody on the ground, and you run over something that again you think is just
debris, an animal, something
debris.
The last thing you think of is a human.
Not on a freeway in the middle of the night.
So you're asking, what do you do? I don't think there's any window of when to do the right thing. If you call the state patrol today and say, look, I didn't realize till I saw the news today that was
what I would do.
A person.
Yeah, if
somebody's got to turn you in, or they've got to find out through investigations.
Don't let them find you. Call in. That would be my advice.
There is no window that's been too long.
If one of your kids came home and had and called you today and said like, hey, I think I might have hit somebody. You would tell them to call 911, explain the situation.
I'm going to be completely transparent here. I'd say call a lawyer. Before you even call the police, I'd probably tell them to call a lawyer.
It's probably
maybe say the same thing to the person who's in this silver vehicle that no one knows the identity of.
Probably not better.
Who knows what's going on today, who's come to the realization of what happened on Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Because a lawyer will tell you to call the police.
The other thing that sucks about this? I don't know the situation. I don't know the pedestrian. I don't know why somebody's in the freeway. He's not supposed to be there.
No.
That 53-year-old man, he's not supposed to be there. And if it was because somebody was like, on fentanyl or on some sort of a drug and they were having some sort of an episode and they found themselves wanting to be up in the middle of traffic, they may have been, I don't know that this is the case, but there's a possibility that person knew that going up there would result in them being hit. I don't know that's the case.
No, but it's on the table.
But it's on the table.
Yeah.
And these drivers are now in a situation where if the city, I'm not blaming the city for everything, but this is one of those things where, hey, if they didn't have a problem with this, then maybe this person wouldn't have ended up on the freeway to be hit by cars who were just driving where they're supposed to be. A person's not supposed to be up there.
For all we know, the guy could have been drinking at a club downtown and he wandered up the roadway.
Sure.
We don't know anything about this.
But it doesn't seem like somebody who's in their right mind.
No.
Who walks across the freeway at 1 a.m.
No, not at all.
But for the person driving, I'm just imagining like a scared young person
if you
who's
think
got your life ahead of you.
If you think it's traumatic today, don't address the issue.
I think
and run from the issue.
I think your call to lawyer advice is good advice.
Call a lawyer, and your lawyer will tell you to call the police, because eventually you turning yourself in is the only way forward with this that does minimal damage to your life.
And explain. You didn't obviously you weren't trying to hit somebody.
Right.
That wasn't planned. And here's the other thing: the prosecution's going to have. I mean, if they do end up charging this person with felony hit and run. Did the pedestrian who died as a result, that would become a factor in whatever charges were filed. When did that person die? Was it from the first hit or the second?
Right.
And so now you're talking about like, did you hit somebody who was already deceased? Would that be a different charge? I don't know these things. I'm not an attorney.
Well, that's why I don't think it's vehicular manslaughter at that point. We don't. That seems to be that the person who killed with a car would be vehicular manslaughter. Can you do a felony
hit and run on somebody who's hit just a body in the road?
Hit and run is the issue here. It's not that you killed a guy; it's that you had an accident. Hit and run involved you hitting a car and running. That's leaving the scene, right? Is that still hit and run?
It's a good question.
A legal mind is going to know better.
These are, we might sound like dummies just debating this, but I really don't know the answer. A hit and run on a car, that is damage to somebody else's property.
Yeah.
If somebody is laying in the road and they're already dead, you're not going to get charged with killing them.
Yeah, I don't know.
And they probably can't pin that on you because could they have determined when the person was there? I don't know the answer to these questions.
We were talking in the office today before the show went on. I was talking to a coworker, and they're like, if you're drinking out on a Saturday night and you may have had one or two, and you hit something in the road, then you don't stop because, oh my gosh, if a cop talks to me right now, I'm looking at a DWI, and you go home and you don't think about it, and you check your car, and your car's got no damage. You keep your mouth shut. That window's closed. The fact that you didn't stop at the scene took all that off the table. It's still time to do the right thing. But maybe that was what was in the thought process.
Maybe.
Of someone who hit something
maybe.
On the road. Maybe.
It's awful.
It is a horrible, horrible occurrence.
It's a horrible thing.
And there's so many lives that are going to be impacted by this. The first driver who stopped and eventually, the second person who didn't stop. I find it unfathomable that this will never be figured out. They will never figure out who this person is.
Stuff like this, does fall through the cracks. Oh. I mean, they have a color of a car. The way that this gets solved is that somebody either has, a
witness.
They do the right thing and they come forward.
Yeah.
And they confess to it, or somebody that knows them says, "Hey, that car has some damage that's very suspicious." But then at that point, you're in like,
never happens. Say that never happens,
yeah.
and you got away with it. You didn't get away with anything. You're living with it for the rest of your life. Right. What's going to be a bigger burden on your life moving forward? The fact that you made a mistake, it took you a day and a half to call the cops, but you did the right thing. There's some consequences. Or are you living with that for the rest of your life? That you hit somebody in the road and didn't stop. I mean, it's easy for me to say because it ain't me, but it seems like any type of rational person is going to say, call in. There's a way forward without carrying this baggage for the rest of your days.
I don't want to put words in your mouth. I don't want to put words in your mouth. I don't want to put words in your mouth. I have sincere sympathy for both of the drivers who found themselves in a position where they're hitting a pedestrian on a freeway.
Absolutely.
That's not what you were planning on doing that night. You were just trying to get home. I've driven that road many times at that time.
Yeah, me too.
I'm
usually picking my kid up downtown at a club.
Yep.
At that hour.
Yeah. Very easily could have been any of us.
Yeah.
And it's horrible that they now have this. This will, regardless of what happens, this is going to haunt them even if they turn themselves in. Yeah, but this will haunt them for the rest of their life.
You have two futures ahead of you.
Yeah.
Right now, and you get to choose which one you've got.
I think I do think you're right. I think you call a lawyer.
Yeah.
And then you call the police to say, "Hey,
your lawyer
here's what happened. I didn't
you
even know I hit
go.
anybody."
Right. Exactly right.
Oh, it's just such a crazy situation. All right. Speaking of crazy situation, did you watch this video? We're going to watch this a little bit together. If you guys want to get on the YouTube page, you can watch on the go to KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM, and you can watch with us. They have now released the footage of that arrest of Superintendent Karen Cloninger in Longview Public Schools. Now, she was arrested because there was allegations going around at the time. This was an earlier part of the year. I believe this was in January, late January. There was allegations of a sexual assault / rape situation.
Involving students.
That happened in a locker room. According to the story, she made it very clear they were going to handle this in-house. Now, there is state mandatory reporting laws that would have played in this situation where the school district should have called the police. They should have made them aware. In this case, local police had to reach out to the school and say, "Hey, there's a lot of rumors flying around. Is there something that you guys are supposed to tell us?" All over
social media, and the superintendent directed her principal and vice principal of is it Morris High School?
Morris High School, yeah.
We're going to handle this internally.
Mark Morris High School.
Mark Morris High School. We're going to handle this internally. And the principal says, "Well, there's a requirement for us to." No. Well, we should call the district's attorney. Well, we're not going to bring any attorney. And I'm paraphrasing the superintendent. We're not going to bring any attorney because no one's going to tell me what to do here.
Yep. This is all part of the charging documents.
Yes.
These are all technically allegations against her.
Well, but part of officially charging documents. So it's more than just an allegation.
Investigators are saying that she tried to cover up multiple sex assault claims at the school, failed to report alleged abuse to police. These are all big no-nos. And it's not every day that you see a superintendent of a school system be put into cuffs. Perp walked. Although,
yeah, right. And
did walk out a side door, so it wasn't in full view.
They didn't have a full. They didn't fill the gymnasium and bring.
They didn't say, "Come on out," and usually the superintendent's office is not on a school campus.
That's fair.
Isn't that right?
Yeah, you're right.
It's usually in an office setting.
Yeah.
But
there was some
at one point in the video, she asked the arresting officers, "Can you not walk me out that way?" Because she doesn't want to be walked through the workplace. And they are very, very kind. I actually think they were very nice. And they accommodated
We've got the video sharing on our YouTube channel right now. Yeah.
So you can see this is Karen Cloninger. If you guys are watching this, she's being arrested, put in handcuffs. Can you imagine how wild this must have been? I mean, like, we gossip in the office here around silly things like who's taking too many donuts from the center table.
Yeah, we do.
And, who doesn't flush in the bathroom. Those are silly.
Who broke the men's room on the first floor? Yeah, we do. Yeah.
These are the things, or if there's like a fiery discussion that happens between people.
Oh yeah, and
that stuff sticks with you.
Yeah.
And then the rumor mill that spreads around the office.
You bet.
She's being arrested for very serious things, and walked out and in cuffs. And you can see here her subordinates are kind of sitting there just watching as she's being perp walked out.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like they, draped a coat over her handcuffs, which I've seen on various police shows.
The wild thing though is the school board, in the middle of this whole investigation, the school board unanimously voted, and they had an option where they could have tabled it and it would have opened it up to the public. But before the public could even get a say, they unanimously voted to extend her contract.
Yeah.
Which is over $200,000 a year. That, to me, in the middle of all this, there's a lot of people who I think are going to lose their jobs as a result of what's happening right now in Longview.
Yeah. You think so?
Yes.
It seems to me
she's
the
one
only
of them.
Yeah, but she insisted on doing things the wrong way. I think her subordinates in that chain of events with regard to the alleged assault.
Yeah.
I think all those people did exactly what was supposed to be and was asked of them to do.
Let me ask you this question. If you were on the school board, the Longview school board, and your job was to decide whether or not you were going to offer her an extension on her contract, which is up.
Yeah.
Would you have done so unanimously, or would you have said, hey, guys, in the middle of this investigation, because this is after all these allegations had been put out there, this is after people had already been claiming that she'd been trying to stop police from investigating, silencing people in the school district. You wouldn't look at that for a second and think to yourself, hey, you know what? Maybe this person doesn't have the leadership skills that we thought that she had, and maybe we can get away with just taking a clean break here as her contract expires.
I'll tell you why I would have voted to extend her contract.
You would have voted to extend it?
I would have, and I'll tell you why.
Wow.
Look down the road. You had a crossroads. You look at the fork in the road. You got two ways to go on this.
Yeah.
You decide not to renew her contract due to this allegation and now pending charges.
Okay.
And she's proven innocent.
Okay.
Okay. Then she potentially has a legal case against the school district. You decided to not renew her contract based on allegations that hadn't yet been proven in court. You put yourself in legal jeopardy, potential legal jeopardy at that point, because you didn't renew her because of allegations which turned into charges. If you do renew her, you leave all the options on the table for removing her from her office.
So
if she's vindicated in this case and no charges are filed, then she's done it. I mean, it doesn't look that way given what we know.
Well, let me ask you this question. Number one, I don't know if that premise is exactly how it would work out.
Okay.
I don't know.
I don't know either, but I'm.
Well, no, I just mean in that you're probably right. I don't know if she would have had a lawsuit just because they decided not to extend her contract.
She's been an awarded, decorated superintendent. She's got great results.
Well,
until
she allegedly covers up a rape.
That's what I'm saying. And if that is then vindicated in court, right, and then you didn't renew her contract, you might be in some legal trouble.
What legs would she have to stand on, though? It's your decision as a board whether or not you want to go forward with her.
You're probably not wrong.
If your contract is up,
but she's
not being fired, they're just not renewing her.
But if you renew her and it's found that she's guilty of this, you can terminate her for cause. You've lost nothing.
But my question is, why would the board bend over backwards unanimously to renew her without the public having any opinion on it, which they could have done? Anyway, it's a good question. You guys can let us know on the Mucker Show Casino text line, 888-973-5476. Charlie Harger's coming up next. We're going to talk about pimps. We'll be right back.
This hour is brought to you by Davis Law Group.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Hey, Jake Skorheim here. Summer means that I have a laundry list of exterior home improvements to tackle and very little time to do it. Fortunately, the team in the red van has me covered. Of course, I'm talking about Valentine Roofing, the pros that keep me off extension ladders and precarious positions. If your summer home improvement list has a new roof, siding, or a gutter upgrade, you owe it to your home to give Valentine Roofing a call. They've once again been awarded the best in the Pacific Northwest for roofing by the Seattle Times in 2025, and it really comes down to two things. They have the best product, which is backed by a lifetime warranty, and they have exceptional customer service, which they call it the Valentine experience. That's seamless communication, meticulous cleanup, and extra mile service. Plus, right now, qualified home buyers can take advantage of $0 down and 0% financing with 6 months deferred interest when paid in full within the promotional period. Financing subject to approved credit. Call 206 Roofing and schedule a free estimate today. That's 206 Roofing. And remember, when you see the red Valentine van, you know your home is in good hands.
Man, I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. Watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon.
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may cause blood in the white of the eye, blurred vision, or a temporary increase in eye pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Ask your retina specialist how you can slow your GA with Izervay. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
Digging in my yard, trying to lay a pipe. I hit a water line and now I have to pay a big fine. I should have called 811.
Thanks for calling CM Heating.
Yeah, hi. I need an AC tune-up, and one room isn't comfortable.
We could do both. We'll get your system running right and take a look at the room. Ductless could be a great solution.
Perfect.
Yeah, and if your system's older, right now when you install a qualifying high-efficiency cooling system, the furnace is free.
Wow.
So you get a complete heating and cooling system for the price of one, and we help maximize rebates to save you the most.
Visit cmheating.com today for your tune-up or free estimate.
There's no beating CM Heating.
CMHEA HL751LW.
Missing teeth? You may qualify for full mouth implants at a reduced cost using your medical insurance. Call South Seattle Smiles today at 206-241-5533 to see if you're a candidate. Your new smile starts now. SouthSeattleSmiles.com.
Your medication for enlarged prostate is working. That's what you tell yourself. You're up 3 times a night instead of 5. The urgency is manageable. The stream's not great, but it's fine. That's the problem. Fine. Enlarged prostate, or BPH, doesn't pause because the medication takes the edge off. The prostate keeps growing. The bladder keeps working harder. And over time, those changes can be harder to reverse. But surgery? Not for you, right? Aquablation is not the surgery you're picturing. It's the only ultrasound-guided, robotic-assisted therapy for enlarged prostate. Don't wait until things become unbearable. Find an Aquablation urologist near you. Call Aquablation Seattle at 206-666-2466. 206-666-2466. That's 206-666-2466. All surgical treatments carry risks and results may vary. Side effects may include urinary symptoms, mild pain, ejaculatory dysfunction, or infection. In rare cases, complications to the urethra and rectum may occur. Aquablation therapy may not be right for everyone. Talk to your urologist to learn more. Visit aquablationseattle.com.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
Our local tax expert and advocate, Greg Nunn, understands the pressure that comes from owing money to the IRS. Don't let that pressure build. Call None Better Tax Resolution. From stress to success with IRS Solutions. Google NUNN. None Better Tax Resolution.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. All 11 victims killed in last week's industrial disaster in Longview have now been recovered and identified. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey reports the cleanup efforts continue.
Everyone in Longview seems to know one of the 11 people who lost their lives inside the Nippon Dynawave plant.
And now all these people's lives are destroyed, and you can't bring them back.
Crews are flushing Longview's ditch system after a large vat imploded, spilling hundreds of thousands of gallons of the highly corrosive chemical white liquor. The union for the mill workers killed is now demanding answers after a federal investigation was launched. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Justice Department says it will abide by a federal judge's order to hold off on plans to give out up to $1.8 billion in that anti-weaponization fund. ABC's Stephen Portnoy explains.
A social media post from the Justice Department says officials strongly disagree with last week's ruling by a federal judge in Virginia temporarily freezing the fund pending a hearing she set for the end of next week. The department says it will abide by that ruling. That as more congressional Republicans express their opposition to the idea of handing out up to $1.8 billion of taxpayer money to those who've been accused of or convicted of crimes.
New details today about redevelopment plans for Wild Waves in Federal Way. The property owner plans to convert that site into a vast warehouse facility, replacing the amusement park with industrial use. The Federal Way Mirror reports planning documents show the project would cover the entire 60-plus acre site. It would include truck loading areas and new road access. The property's owners announced last year this would be the final season for Wild Waves. Hottest day of the year so far is on tap. Tuesday's high temperatures will reach the 80s across much of the region. Meteorologist Jeff Mahalski with the National Weather Service says some cities could heat up into the 90s.
Yeah, areas like Olympia and then down south down to Portland. That stretch of I-5 there looks like the warmest.
And he says a combination of the heat, low humidity, and some offshore wind will create fire danger tomorrow. Time now to go to the real-time traffic desk at 2:33. Here's Nate Connors.
Thanks, Aaron. This one brought to you by Harborstone Credit Union. Everett eastbound 526 remains crowded between the Boeing plant and I-5. North 5 slows between 526 and Highway 2. Everett to Marysville still looking pretty good at just a 10-minute drive. South 5 heading into Seattle. We're going to jam up now. Northeast 50th in the U-District into downtown. 20 minutes from Linwood to Seattle. North 5, it's a bumper-to-bumper before the West Seattle Bridge, just past I-90, and then just past Mercer across the Ship Canal Bridge. Now a half hour to clear our downtown backups. South 405 slows from Factoria all the way to the Renton Landing. Bellevue to Renton just under 25 minutes. North 405, you're going to slow through the Renton S-curves. And southbound 167, we're slowing the south end between Algona and Sumner. Earn up to $30 per month just for using your Harborstone P&W Cashback debit card. Open your free checking account online today at harborstone.com/cash. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
For today, lots of sunshine, highs in the mid-70s. Again, tomorrow, hottest day of the year so far, mid-80s for many of us. Right now, looking at 73 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
All right, welcome back to the show. Charlie Harger from Seattle's Morning News joins us right now. Charlie, welcome to the show.
Howdy, howdy. Good to be here.
It has been how many hours since they removed the planters that the citizens of Aurora Avenue put in to block their houses from pimps?
If I'm doing a little quick math, it's been about 66 hours now.
Okay.
But only 40 hours after they installed what are basically concrete barriers that don't block the entire roadway so cars can drive through.
Yeah.
40 hours after it was installed on Friday, there was a shooting, 6 a.m. Sunday morning. 6 rounds went off.
So here's a question: when the planters were up, when the vigilante planters had gone in to block the road, during that time, how long was that? About a few days? They only had a couple days.
They went in Sunday, and SDOT pulled it out on Thursday. So, yeah, about 96 hours or so.
Now, there were how frequent were gunfire incidents happening before those went in?
The official count was 95 over the past 2 years. So it happened quite often, once a week or so. But the thing is that neighbors oftentimes will hear a couple shots. It gets caught on security cams, you can hear it, but police come out and they can't find the shell casing, so they don't officially count as shootings at that point.
Gotcha. But neighbors obviously would beg to differ, and they would say, no, these are clearly shootings. Just because you didn't find the bullets doesn't mean it didn't happen. Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, you step back, Jake, and here's what's happening if you're only casually following. Aurora Avenue has long been an area where there's prostitution, drug dealing, crime. We have all seen that over the years living here. What's changed is that they changed the prostitution loitering law back in 2020. And that meant Seattle police, first of all, could not arrest prostitutes where they're clearly walking up and down the street. They couldn't arrest Johns necessarily. And all those seedy motels kind of closed down. So what has happened is that Johns, pimps, prostitutes will drive up Aurora Avenue, and then they will turn onto a side street, drive down a side street, and then come back up. So it's like a loop, right? Well, you have pimps who are fighting for turf, for ground. It's a gang war at times. And so when the pimps are shooting at each other, it's not just on Aurora Avenue. It's inside these neighborhoods and communities.
These turnaround loops.
Yeah. So these homes are getting shot up now where they weren't years back because not only are the pimps going through, but the Johns and the prostitutes are conducting their business with their Johns right in front of homes, in front of bus stops, stuff like that.
Which makes the barricade solution from the city or resident perspective ridiculously ineffective. It's not the problem. The problem isn't where things are being done. It's what's being done. You put barricades up from 97 to 102 like they had, and they'll move down or north a couple of blocks in either direction. The problem is the crime that's being committed, and the city's devolving policies on dealing with the criminality of it, the perpetrators of it, and the victims of it.
I think you bring up a lot of great points here, Spike. The frustration from the residents is we have gone 2 years where it's constantly, and I mean constantly, there are shootings happening, generally over the weekend, it's early in the morning. I can't tell you how many of these I've heard this year of Glock switches going off and just, going crazy like that. You have people, shooting at each other, and it's going through homes, nearly hitting babies. So I understand the broader picture of course, these
recriminalized prostitution.
But what I'm here to tell you after speaking with all these people is they're fed up. Police aren't doing anything. Their city council member not doing anything. The mayor not doing anything. And when you are at that point, when your home is being shot up, when you are a parent who has a drill now, you have a drill with your children. When you hear the gunfire, you know to scoop them up, stay low to the ground, and run to the back of the house where it is away from that. They're doing this every week. A parent described that to me just today, how they have that as a drill with your young children. If you are living in a home like that and your community, your city is doing nothing and telling you, oh, we're going to have a study, no, this is unacceptable for them. So for me, it's very understandable why they're taking this into their hands. And it strikes me, by the way, look at me getting all hot and bothered. But it strikes me, the city is very quick to go and remove this sort of thing, but it's very slow to actually act about those root causes that you're talking about.
Well, removing a barricade takes 1 day's action.
Sure does.
Take a look at the root problems that's causing this neighborhood to lose safety and value and everything else.
I have two questions for you guys about this, because this is the one that just keeps surfacing for me. First, describe these new barriers for the audience that they have put up. I mean, we understand what the old ones that the neighbors put up that were vigilante, who basically were like giant planter boxes.
So if the road is 2 lanes in each direction, there is a barrier blocking 1 lane, and then about 20 feet up, a barrier blocking the other lane. So a car has to zigzag
slalom
through.
Course.
It slows it down, but
it doesn't stop.
Yes, you're absolutely right.
And it slows it down for about 100 yards, and then it's just business as usual for the entirety of the loop.
As it was described to me when they went into effect on Friday night, the pimps, the prostitutes, they looked at the barriers. They saw cops driving by. Once a cop drove by, they just walked and went right through them and conducted their business inside the neighborhoods. It's done nothing.
So here's my second question. I think you're exactly right, Spike. They put up these barriers because now they can say they've done something without actually having to do the hard part.
The real problem.
So the second question is, why not do the hard part? We have cameras out here. They have police. Why isn't the city council, why isn't Mayor Wilson, and maybe this is like one of the issues that defines her office now, why are they allowing pimps who are out there firing weapons, nearly killing people and putting people at danger? Like, why are they allowing those guys to continue doing business? Why are they allowing these prostitutes to continue soliciting this horrible thing?
Why hasn't Mayor Wilson been out there? You know, these neighbors say they haven't seen her once. She sent in her public safety director. The chief of police has gone out. They haven't seen Mayor Wilson. Why hasn't council member Deborah Juarez been out? You know, she's issued press releases about this. She ostensibly cares about the safety of her citizens. They haven't seen her out there once. They are going to have a community meeting on Wednesday night. It would be great if the council member, if the mayor were to show up instead of just the police, maybe show a little support as an elected leader that you care about your community instead of just issuing a press release and calling it good.
Why do you think they don't want to arrest anybody, Spike?
They don't have the resources. Well, first off, it's
I don't think that's true.
First off, from a legislative perspective, like Charlie said, they decriminalized solicitation and loitering on Aurora. In 2020, they stopped arresting juveniles for prostitution, because they felt that was a humane way to treat that element of society, that group of people. Because I say that because that section of Aurora Avenue is the number 2 human trafficking zone in the entirety of the West Coast, right there on Aurora Avenue.
So why not arrest them and then put them into some sort of a place to get help?
That used to be the option, that you could take a teen prostitute, take them to juvenile detention,
and then say, "Hey, let's get you on a better path."
But they changed the ability to do that about
Charlie's
in
got
2022.
numbers.
Yeah, so I heard from somebody with knowledge of this. Seattle, when it's fully staffed, should have about 1,300 officers who you're able to deploy to the streets. Here's what they have right now. There are 860 technically deployable officers. 7 of them are chiefs, 23 are captains, 70 are lieutenants, about 125 sergeants, about 150 detectives. Those are not people who are going out on patrol. So what you're talking about is fewer than 500 police officers for a city the size of Seattle, and they are expected to patrol 24/7. We should have 1,300 officers.
Yeah.
That's what the rest of the country does. We've got basically 500.
Yeah.
But it's not for like, you were right that they don't have the resources in that they don't have as many officers as they should, but it's not for lack of funding. There's plenty of funding for them.
No, the funding is available.
If they wanted to hire officers and take care of this problem, they could, but they're choosing not to for some reason. I don't know why that is.
Well, neighbors have suggested, why don't you put one of those little police substations, those temporary substations you put in these places, drop one of those right there at 102nd,
or
where that footbridge on Aurora is.
An empty police SUV. Anything else would be good deterrence.
But these criminals aren't stupid. They know. The cops show up, you wait 10 minutes in a car. As soon as the cops leave, you go back to business.
Yeah.
You have to have a presence on site. I mean, it's not a speed trap. I hear what you're saying. Any kind of presence could be better than nothing.
Yeah.
But there's got to be a real police presence in this place.
And start arresting people for doing illegal things.
If you're concerned about the welfare of the community, not just the teens that are being human trafficked out there, if that's not worthy of delegating resources, I don't know what is. I'm as frustrated, Charlie, as you are about this, because I've got a kid that's just out of this age bracket, and to think that my kid could have been subjected to this, this world, it's infuriating and heartbreaking.
It is horrible.
No other problem facing the city is worthy of the resources to help solve this. And you're right, barricades ain't going to get it done.
You guys can read more about this on mynorthwest.com. Charlie's got a great piece up on it. Thanks for making the time.
Anytime.
All right, we got a lot more coming up. Your text message is next. Stick around.
KIRO News Radio, winner of 7 regional Edward R. Murrow Awards. Breaking news coverage, best newscast, excellence in writing, investigative reporting, sports reporting, hard news. Capped with a prestigious prize for overall excellence. And we thank you, our audience across the Pacific Northwest. You are the reason we strive to be the Northwest's trusted news source. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
Hey, Spike O'Neill for Ageless Living. Recently, I've been telling you that my aunt had surgery and it went well and she was home the next day, but we weren't sure as a family if we were ready or equipped to give her the kind of care that she deserved, so we called our friends at Ageless Living and asked about respite care. That's short-term stays, 2 days, 2 weeks, providing 24/7 expert care, all the amenities of Ageless Living and peace of mind for us, the family. Go to agelessliving.com/spike and schedule a visit. It might be just what your family needs, just when you need it. That's agelessliving.com/spike.
My man Jonathan from DUI Heroes says DUI arrests increase around holiday weekends. So if you or someone you know is pulled over for DUI, contact DUI Heroes immediately. DUIs can be very complicated, but there's always a person behind the action. A person who needs help getting their life back together. That's where DUI Heroes can help. Your DUI defense specialist, 1-800-DUI-HERO. That number is answered 24/7. DUIHeroes.com.
When Dennis suggested retirement planning to his wife, Linda, she had the same reaction lots of people do.
Do we really need it?
Then they attended a free seminar with elder law attorney Rajiv Nagayich at Life Point Law.
He asked me, what do you want? And he truly listened. And at the end of it, it was like, we need to do this.
There are many people on the radio that speak about many things. And when we got here and actually worked with the team that Rajiv has put together, it turns out that it is not just talk, it is action.
And in the worst case?
I said to him, if something happens to Dennis, what would I do exactly? And he said, you pick up the phone and you call Rajiv or you call me. And that right there was like peace of mind.
Register for a free Life Point Law retirement planning seminar in Tacoma on June 4th, Mukilteo June 6th, Lacey June 9th, or Bellevue June 13th, 6:30 p.m. Space is limited. Sign up at lifepointlaw.com. That's lifepointlaw.com.
Thanks for calling CM Heating.
Yeah, hi. So I've noticed my lights flickering and breakers tripping. Should I be worried?
That could be a sign your electrical panel's outdated or unsafe.
Oh.
But don't worry, we can send an electrician out fast. We'll inspect your panel, make sure everything's safe, and if it needs upgrading, we'll walk you through your options.
Thanks.
Don't wait until it's too late. Schedule your electrical safety inspection today at cmheating.com. And remember, for panel upgrades, repairs, and all your electrical needs,
There's no beating CM Heating.
CMHEA HL754L3.
Guys, tired all the time? Gaining weight? Low drive? These aren't just signs of aging. They could be low testosterone or other underlying issues. This June, for Men's Health Month, Revive Men's Health in Seattle is offering a free comprehensive wellness panel, a $400 value. It checks your testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, kidney, liver, thyroid, and heart health. No guessing, just answers. Over 100,000 men have trusted Revive to get real results. More energy, better sleep, improved mood, and confidence that shows. If something feels off, don't wait. Take control and protect your long-term health by knowing your numbers. This offer ends June 30th. Schedule your free comprehensive wellness panel today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Feel better. Live stronger. Start now.
Do you get sinus infections, congestion, sinus pressure and pain, sinus headaches? You've gone to the doctor. You visit urgent care over and over again. And it's always the same thing, right? Oh, I know. Let's try antibiotics and some nasal sprays. But they just keep coming back. You may suffer with chronic sinus infections. The good news? Relief is possible. How? A minimally invasive procedure called the Sinusoft procedure, available only at the Modern Nose Clinic. Imagine a procedure so delicate there are no narcotics. Less cutting means less bleeding, so no packing, and no operating room. The Sinusoft procedure is designed for the clinic. If you suffer with chronic sinus infections, facial pain, pressure, and congestion, find out if the Sinusoft procedure, available only at the Modern Nose Clinic, is the solution for you. Call and set an appointment today. 206-388-2770. 206-388-2770. That's 206-388-2770.
Giving your liver a spring cleaning is easy with Active Liver. From New Nordic. Search for Active Liver by New Nordic on Amazon. CVS, Wegmans, or GNC.
Big Trees is Washington's premier tree sales and transplant company. Looking for a big selection of big trees? Visit Big Trees in Snohomish or BigTreeSupply.com.
Privacy, instantly.
Nothing worse than clutter. With Closets by Design, everything will finally have its place. 40% off plus an additional 15% off and 18 months 0% financing on approved credit if paid in full. ClosetsByDesign.com or call 1-800-BY-DESIGN.
All right, welcome back to the show. Lots of text messages to get to. A lot of different topics today. Lots of fun. Let's fire right away. Laura, go for it.
On your son, Jake, mowing the lawn for the first time at age 11, Steve says, you wanting to mow the lawn yourself is the most dad thing ever.
It's a sign of somebody who loves his yard and who cares about
It's
nature.
a sense of pride, yes.
Yeah.
We covered this in the first hour, first break of the show. If you didn't hear it, go back and listen to the podcast. Because we stumbled across me talking about no mow May, and you surrendered the control of your lawn to your kid.
That is a big weekend for me.
That is such a family dynamic that everybody can relate to. It was a great story.
It's like playing catch with your kid for the first time.
Yeah.
First time they mow the lawn.
Right.
And he's so excited, too, because now he's got something that he can...
He's earning.
He's an earner now.
Right?
Yeah.
For the rest of his life.
Yeah, and he's contributing to the family. It's a good
awesome.
feeling. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Jamestown and Eastlake says, tall enough to reach the handles, ready to mow that lawn.
Absolutely.
Oh, what a day.
Sue in Cedar River, she says she mows every 3 to 4 days by hand. I think that means by one of those like push behind.
I had one of those.
Yeah. Those are neat looking, by the way.
Those are the old spinning wheel. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I've been tempted to try that before. She says it's half an acre, takes her 3 hours every single time.
Wow, Sue.
That's a big deal. One of the things that we're also dealing with is bunny poop. We talked about this a little bit last week. So
he said they came out covered in raisins after slip and slide.
Whenever slip and slide. Yeah, it's disgusting. But you know what I'm trying now is coyote urine. Have you done that? Coyote urine?
Oh, yeah. I got it in a squirt bottle.
Yeah?
Oh, you bet.
Did it work?
The missus, yes.
I'm excited about it.
Yes.
I'm very excited about it. And I got a guy who makes it. He gets it. I don't know where he gets it.
I was going to say, where do you...
You have to squeeze the coyote.
This isn't a
Smells
Lowe's
lot
thing.
like a guy urine.
Oh, boy. On Rep. Jim Walsh, considering a run for governor, let me read this one. Branton 360 says, Spike, I think you're dead wrong about Jim Walsh. A man of integrity does not consistently repeat the Trump lies that Jim Walsh repeats all the time. I wouldn't vote for him if he was the last guy on earth.
That's from Brant in 360?
That's Branton 360.
You know what's so interesting about this? If Brant, and this is, I genuinely mean this, if Brant were to sit down across from Jim Walsh, not the caricature that he thinks Jim Walsh is as a politician, but genuinely as he sat down with him and they had a real discussion, like he does many times on our show, and has done with you.
Yes, he has.
Where he sits down and has a very sincere, serious discussion on a serious topic, you come away going like, this guy makes a lot of sense.
Agree, but have you ever noticed how many times Jim Walsh and I talk about election fraud and election integrity? We don't.
Okay.
Because I'm
Well, you
kinda
believe some crazy things, so I don't know. I
like
understand what...
Biden was elected president. Yeah, won the election. Yeah, crazy.
My gosh, we don't have time to get into that, Spike.
But thank you, Brad.
On the Burrows, Mike and Edmund says, Spike, I'm living it. I moved into a 55-plus community in Bothell. I'm the youngest old person there, except for Theo, who works in the office. He is 51.
The Burrows. I'm going to keep watching it alone.
On Wild Waves closing, Tom in Marysville. Hasn't been the same since they shut down the Seattle Center Fun Forest to make room for the ridiculous Chihuly exhibit. Before that, we had Playland and Gold Creek, the good old days. I don't remember Playland and Gold Creek, do you?
I remember Playland, yeah.
Okay. All right, well, that's got to be the end of it, folks. We have a lot more text, but we don't have a lot of time. We have to pass this off to John Curley. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us today. We hope you had a lot of fun, and we hope that we get a chance to talk with you again tomorrow. So we'll see you back here then. Bye-bye.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
On top of home and auto, Progressive protects your boat, RV, and motorcycle so you can explore the unknown.
Actually, we just take the RV to the same campground every year.
Well, maybe you can catch your own dinner on your boat.
Oh, we can actually get pizza delivered there from this brick oven place we love.
Will you at least try a new topping?
Honestly, probably not. We kind of have a go-to order.
Fine. Just bundle home or auto insurance with your outdoor vehicles with Progressive and stay protected when you go, I guess, where you've gone before. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-771-1300. That's 800-771-1300.
Stop living with missing teeth. You may qualify for full mouth implants at a reduced cost using your medical insurance. Call South Seattle Smiles today at 206-241-5533 to see if you're a candidate. SouthSeattleSmiles.com.
Your old furnace ain't nice, and your toes are like ice. DayandNight.net.
This month, Day and Night gives you a free furnace with the installation of an AC or heat pump.
If you're not sure your furnace will make it through another winter, call us to install a proper, long-lasting, efficient heating system backed by our lifetime workmanship guarantee, so you won't be left out in the cold.
Install an AC or heat pump and get a free furnace from Day and Night Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric.
DayandNight.net.
Step inside and let the excitement take you places. This is Muckleshoot Casino Resort, the ultimate spot for action that reaches incredible heights, luxury that knows no bounds, and live entertainment that always thrills. It's all at one incredible destination. So when you look for the best, look nowhere else. Muckleshoot Casino Resort, the biggest and best in the Northwest. Muckleshoot.
You could sleep through the night without thinking twice. You could take a seat in the middle of the theater. You could drive without worry of where the next restroom is. You used to say yes, and somewhere along the way, you stopped. Not because of one big moment, because of 100 small ones. A little more urgency, one more trip to the bathroom at 2 a.m., one more mental note about where the restroom is. It happened slowly enough that it just became you. But it's not you. It's enlarged prostate. And there's a treatment called aquablation therapy, the only ultrasound-guided robotic-assisted therapy for enlarged prostate. Find an aquablation therapist near you. Call Aquablation Seattle at 206-666-2466. 206-666-2466. That's 206-666-2466. All surgical treatments carry risks and results may vary. Side effects may include urinary symptoms, mild pain, ejaculatory dysfunction, or infection. In rare cases, complications to the urethra and rectum may occur. Aquablation therapy may not be right for everyone. Talk to your urologist to learn more. Visit aquablationseattle.com.
Hey, how's your money situation? Are you ready for retirement? Well, if you want to know what the pros are doing to make wealth multiply and retire like royalty, then you need to listen to this show, Sound Path Through Retirement, with Ben Koval and Matt Leibarger. Get your money right and tune in every weekend, Saturdays at 10 a.m.